I hate that damn new YouTube music. Yes, I said a swear word in the first 20 seconds, so I might get spanked later at some point. But why do they change things? My universe was nice with that StreamYard intro that had been around for 400 years, and now it's like, I don't know. You got to be on. I don't know. If y'all have heard it from that side, it is just, I don't know. It's not as exciting. It's like, it like numbs me to sleep, and I'm trying to build excitement running into a great stream. Hey, folks, Dadman Walking 55 here, rambling already, but hey, listen, thanks for being here at 9:08 on a Saturday night. We appreciate your support. Just thanks for being here, hanging out with us. We have 694 subscribers. Go drag the bodies in. Give me 6 more, and we'll be 700, and then I'll be happy. But hey, I did want to touch on a few things real quick. Before I bring in tonight's really special guest to see how long we can stream tonight. Completely a squirrel stream night. I will tell you, it truly will be a squirrel stream. But I did want to shout out again for Mrs. What an incredible day yesterday. With it's whatever it is. She's at 575 subscribers now. Last I saw, and so good, so happy for her, and really, really proud to have her do that, and she's done all the formalities with it. What I really want to comment on, though, was I'm so glad work broke in a way where I had fires at the end of the day, but when all the drama happened and it kept going, I was actually able to see and be a part and witness it, regardless of what was going on with work, because to hear the emotion in her voice was really things have been hard for us for a couple of years now. There's been things that have gone on, and and she talks about it, how March is a tough month for all of us, and especially her. But to hear the joy, the emotion, the appreciation out of her voice, and the tears for all that was done and getting to that threshold. Now the next step for getting monetization to go through was just overwhelming in a thought. But what we also don't want to forget are that all you guys, gentlemen and ladies that are here and have been here, that actually show up at the streams. We would have nothing without you guys that actually attend and show up. So you are not forgotten. You are wonderful people. Thank you all for your support for the missus. I, as her husband, personally thank you all, because you do not know how much y'all mean to her and how much y'all lift her up when she really needs it. And so getting to listen to hear when it happened was really a great thing for me the other day. And I just want to say thank y'all all. Thank y'all for coming out and choosing to hang out here too. I appreciate that, because we're going to look to have some fun and craziness tonight. Speaking of that, okay, I'll try not to get too more mushy and somber again. But hey, speaking of mushy and somber, this person is the last person to do that. You know, I like when she says poopy or maximum redstone, or by the way, we'll have Max on in a couple of weeks. I do not do her justice with trying to say this stuff, but hey, let me not hesitate it out anymore. It's the writer extraordinaire, the enunciator of enunciations, the sports fan of all sports fans, even though she denies it. It's the great RM Briggs. Hello, Raquel. How are you tonight? I know people have been excited and waiting for that too. So
that was a pretty outstanding introduction. Thank you so much. You're too kind. It's great to be here. Thank you for inviting me. Hail to the chat.
Hail to the chat. Yeah, we'll have to get through them real quick. But hey, just real quick, I know, how are things going for you? I know you're really busy these days, trying to write on top of everything else you've got going on.
Yeah, I'm back to working full time, and so writing and working full time is challenging. But you know, I got up early this morning. I had a day off, and I was able to get out about 700 or 800 words this morning. So I'm chuffed. I'm working on story number 6 for Science Fiction Tales Volume 3, and this book, this volume, this collection will be dedicated to my patrons, my publishers, my crew, the people who wanted to see these stories published. So every day's a grind, but I'm getting it done. And I noticed that you've been working a heck of a lot as well.
Oh yeah. I mean, I had to for January, February, I was kind of having to really do unscheduled streams because of work demands. It worked out my advantage, but it was freeing to not have a committed time slot. So I know I know the algorithm hates it and all, but I'm not planning on monetize anyway. So, the heck with the algorithm, but it's been, I had some Saturdays and Sundays and things like that, so it's been a bit rough. And of course, dealing with my mom with her situation, and now she's back in rehab, but she's in a real good place tonight. So I've had to still stay with her a few nights and stuff. So it's crazy, but yeah, work has been crazy, but hopefully in 23 days, it will finally go away.
Yeah, right.
Not go away, but it'll get back to normal.
I know what you mean. I'm also grateful to have employment in this day and age. So I just know what you mean. Like when it slows down a bit so that
just
you
get
can
back normal.
breathe.
I thought I had everything settled on Friday, and then it's like at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, my boss wants to start debating something else. I'm like, one, it's too late, and two, I don't think respectfully, I think I'm right. I think they're right. So I'm trying to bury that out of my brain till Monday morning,
Yeah,
so.
you have to leave it. Don't bring it home with you.
I
It's
know.
terrible. I mean, I know that's easier said than done
Oh,
because
yeah.
our generation, Gen X, we're all about the caring for our bosses and worrying about our work culture and taking care of our companies, and we're quite loyal and yeah, it's hard, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like dealing with people too, but that's another issue. But yeah, it's oh my gosh. We might get into the younger generations, because I tell you what, these younger kids do not. I had a kid tell me once it's my job to teach him his job, and I said I wanted to say yes, but I cannot teach you how to think.
Well, that would have been appropriate.
It would have been appropriate, but I'm in the most fireable class of person in the world, so it's like
that's just it, right?
Yeah,
that's the way the economy is going, for us in North America. And so when you're easily replaced, you have to be careful, right?
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, I ticked somebody off because I was copying the boss on the whole thing, but I'm like, look, I'm covering myself because I'm trying to teach you a job. You won't even talk to me, so I can teach you the job. It just, but that's another way. We leave it at there. But yeah, the missus are like,
I want you to think about this for a minute
Yeah.
as you let this feeling go. I want you to think about this for a minute. When you and I were growing up, people used to come over to our house unannounced for tea and coffee.
Oh yeah.
People used to pick up their phone and answer it.
Yeah. You go and somebody didn't answer, you walked over and knocked on the door anyway. And
yes. And now the kids, they don't want to answer their phones.
They will do everything in email. And I'm like,
yeah,
like for our line of work, you got to observe, inspect, and talk to it. Just anyway, it's crazy. No, the funnier things are the work for an auditor, especially the passive aggressive nature of all the work. And the constant repetitive questions. My wife is like, would you stop that? You're not at work anymore. And I got friends who are like, you're being passive aggressive. I'm sorry, it's an occupational hazard. It's what I do. Ask my wife, She's like, how many more damn times are you going to ask me that question? It's like Columbo walking around. But hey, maybe we can talk some old TV shows while we got it here. But let's go ahead and say hi to everybody in the chat.
Oh, yes,
we got
let's please
14 here. Give me 1 second. I got to fix something on the Twitch side real quick because I did not get that going. But thank you, everybody that's here tonight. We appreciate y'all being here. I got to get the one chat stream on the Twitch side where the bot comes in and says hello. So offer me a great deal, all the most viewers and stuff. But well, let's go here. This man actually commented the other day, I believe, and then it got taken. But hey, Legatus Legionize is waving to you, Raquel.
Good evening, kind sir.
And let's see. So I just saw this. Well, your second, Brogu. Sorry, I just saw this a little further down. Yes.
Oh, I miss you, Brogu. I love you so much, sweetheart. I'm sending you the warmest hug and a little smooch for your cheek. Just a little tiny one, just to let you know that I love you very much. Thank you so much for being here.
And Brogu the other day was, when he heard that you're coming on, was making plans to be here Saturday night. So
I love that human. He's such a sweetheart. He's so smart and so fun, and I miss hanging out with him on Saturday.
I know a lot of people do. Hey, we even have bears here, not just humans. Snortopoopas Cuber.
Bears. We have
Whoa,
lions and tigers as well.
we got everything around here.
We
Wait
should
till
have
you see.
lions and tigers and bears.
Well, we can even have the trapeze artists too, because if they fall, then they can be the snack for the bears and tigers. But great to see
Oh
you tonight,
my!
Snorta Poopas. Yeah. Well, let's see. So then we got Fallout Dave. Welcome, Fallout Dave.
Good
to see you
evening, Fallout
tonight.
Dave.
Let's see. Here, I'll let you introduce this guy.
Gwagnar.
That's nice. Of course, love the classic creature from the Black Lagoon there.
It's something that the three of us really, really care a lot about. We're very passionate about it. Clobby and Gwaggy and little old me. We love the Creech. The Creech is one of the ultimate sci-fi things. And so when you see Gwaggy, you're going to see the Creech.
Oh yeah, and I tell you, a lot more's coming to Orlando coming up. They already at Universal Studios have Halloween Horror Nights and really throw back to them. But with the Epic Universe, the Dark Island, Dark Universe coming is all going to be a throwback to a lot of the horror and stuff like that of the genre, the classic Marvel movie monsters and stuff. A lot of people are excited about that.
Well, I just purchased I just purchased the Universal Monsters Frankenstein because I love Universal Monsters, and on the box, actually no, I didn't just purchase it. This was like last year. Anyway, on the box they had an image of the Creech. And so it is possible that a fully animatronic creature from the Black Lagoon will be available for purchase from Universal Studios in the future, if the box is any indication. And I mean, I really hope it is, because I'll get them all. I'll get them all. Those are Pokemon for Gen Xers.
Yes. Yeah, I bet. I know we're excited about it because of other parts, but like the Super Nintendo stuff, the Mario, but it's actually really got a lot, it looks like, coming out for the classic Universal Monsters. You've been able to find stuff in their parks over the years, but I think it's going to be a lot more intense now that they're going to have like their own full area, because the way Universal Studios used to be in Orlando was they had a couple little things. They had a couple like a theme restaurant, a horror makeup show, but now with this new park, it's going to have its own set of a whole bunch of stuff. So
well, they released the full head sculpt, a rubberized head sculpt for the creature from the Black Lagoon this year, and it was extraordinarily expensive, or last year I mean, and I bought it for Gwag for his birthday.
Oh wow! All right.
And I sent it to him because he lives a couple hours away from me. But he was so happy. You would not believe how happy he was. And I mean, it was bang on, dead on. I hope, Gwaggy will show the pictures of it, because we were both shocked by the quality of the mask and the fact that Universal Studios would release it.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, their merchandise usually is high quality. The mouse is kind of sometimes is not. It's a little bit hit and miss, but Universal's been really doing a good job with its getting good quality merchandise out there too, and of course increasing the stuff for the older generation. The Universal monsters and stuff like that. They actually embraced it, which is really, really good. So, excuse. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. Everybody's catching a cold. It's like the secondary season for it right now.
Well, this time I just couldn't breathe and swallow. I think something got stuck in my throat from dinner earlier.
Did you forget how to swallow?
Did
you forget how to breathe?
That too, sometimes, believe it or not, it does happen. So yes.
Now, pack up a lung for a half an hour.
Exactly. Oh God, that's the worst thing. Like when you get peanut dust or something like small in it, and it's like you can't I can't stop coughing for 30 minutes.
It's true. It's true.
And what was really bad in the days of the dark times of 2020 and stuff, it's a peanut. Some guy called and everybody looking at you, you're coughing like, I'm not sick. I don't have that. I'm not sick. It's
They
crazy.
think
But
you're
hey,
Typhoid Mary.
I know
So
exactly.
you have to give everybody the stink eye, or what I was raised as an Irish kid, the hairy eyeball, so that they realize that you haven't got the vid, that you're just,
Oh, no, I know.
packing up a lung.
Oh, I know. Oh gosh, but hey, I might have to look at something since we're kind of squirreling tonight. Something I came across because or did I save it? I might have saved it. I better look for it. But let's get through. We're starting even half the way through the chat. Burgers again saying, I'm going to Canada and tell everyone
Good.
I'm friends with RM Briggs.
Do
Later
it.
that day, Canadian mounted police arrested RM Briggs in charge of American tariffs for the incident.
See, they would charge me $1 million just to meet you, sweetheart. It would be horrible.
Oh gosh. And Buddy Hepburn. Buddy, good to see you today. How are you
Hey,
today? Buddy. And here is the captain or temporary admiral of JT Kirk.
JT Kirk, he is Kirok.
Can you explain that? Because he yells, I am Kirok. Everybody's like, you are Kirok. What is that in reference to for some of us that may not know?
Okay, well, it's in reference to a specific TOS episode. It is kind of hard to explain, so I'm not going to. I'm just going to tell you that that it's an inside joke. All Trekkies get it, and I enjoy saying it because if ever Kirk has an identity crisis, JT Kirk will be there to stand in for him because he is Kirok.
Well, right there, he's embraced it there again. Good to see you too, JT. I got to get back up real quick because where was okay, Buddy? Let's see. I got to make sure because I jumped down to the bottom of the chat. So, Buddy, we said hi to Buddy. Brogu, hopefully I don't miss any chant. RM Briggs, RM Briggs, RM
I
Briggs.
love you,
JT,
Brogu.
JT's right there with
Yes!
it. So,
JT Kirk.
I think JT threw some food out or something for sort of
Good.
pooping. So, it's
Well,
like,
feed the bear. Definitely feed the bear. Then it will be full and it won't come for us.
And Agent Atwood, how are you tonight? Good to see you. What's up?
Good evening.
Do you remember that old Super Bowl commercial with the Budweiser commercial?
Of course.
What's up? What's up? Right, there you go. We're gonna have fun with this tonight. Feel free to do all your sound effects because I know it's about. Hey, you got Gwagnar. I hope Max comes in because they got Maximum Redstone. I refuse to do it because I'm like, look, that's Raquel's thing, and I respect her. Plus I can't do any of those sounds justice. That's what makes it special.
It did get me one job, one particular job at a particular radio station at one time. But yeah, it's just something that I've always done.
Well,
when
that's
I love someone.
I think voice talents like that are really, really cool. Especially you can make it really creative and stuff. And especially in radio, that could be really good. And hello to Johnny Carwash. Good to see you tonight. Yeah. Let's see. Thank you for reminding us, Atwood. We had that stupid time change where it goes forward an hour here in America. Do y'all do the time change too?
Yes, we do.
All right.
Well, but the thing is like, I know it's super controversial and I know people aren't into it. But the thing is that when you live as far north as I do, I can honestly tell you that life would be unbearable in the winter. Like to the point where no one would want to live here because there aren't enough hours in the day. And so, and just the daylight, the lack of daylight would just kill. So I mean, I'm in favor of it, but only because of how far north I live. If I lived in Louisiana or Texas, I wouldn't care. Get rid of it.
I'll tell you, we went to Cincinnati, Ohio in August one year, and it's 10 o'clock, and I looked at the window. I'm like, it's 10 o'clock, and it's still the sun's up and all.
Yeah, that's what it's like here. I think there are more than a handful of days where it's nearly 11 o'clock at night. I would need to check.
I don't see
dates, but
it's bad enough when it's 9 o'clock down here, just barely getting dark. But I mean, 10, 11 o'clock, I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, but what got me was the anchors on their news were commenting about it like they had never seen it before. And I'm like, y'all live here, dummies. But then again, hey, share some news anchor stories from your days in radio, because the missus has plenty that she has from her days. She worked in engineering,
Nice.
and especially back then was a very male dominated industry,
Yes.
part of the station. And it was like, it just, you had to, so like she said, you had to hold your own and fight that way. And then one day she's like, the other two ladies were in there, and she looked at her, and they're like, and the other lady's like, yeah, our missus said, I got boobs, right? And the lady shook her head like, yeah, because she kept saying, do this. 5 men come around, looked at it. Finally, the last guy came up, why don't we do this? Which was her idea. Good idea. Let's do it. And it's like, yeah, but hey, many, many stories. And also, she also picked up our first cat that we were married. She had other cats, but found them on the side of the road. And the vets told her, you cannot touch with the soap because it's poisonous. You're pregnant and all that. And then she's like, so they used the anchor's dressing room to bathe the cat.
Oh, wow.
It went from black to orange. So.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Yeah. When you're working around men, they tend to notice your chesticles, and that's okay. Women have chesticles.
Well, I think in that case, we weren't going to listen to the ladies. It's like, and they were not going to admit the lady was right. So.
Oh, well, that happens sometimes. I do have to say that I had some pretty good experiences.
Well, that's good. It's awesome. Yeah. And all mileage varies and everything. So
it does. And it also depends which station you're at, right?
Yep. And Tim's here. FKHC 2005 says, "Wee, wee, good to see you tonight, Tim."
I got your message on Insta, Tim.
You know what's so funny, when I go to say his name, I think of Monty Python and Holy Grail, because they all this name, and then they call me Tim. Because you go FKHC 2005 Tim. So I like it. Tim is cool. Tim is short, and Snorting a Poopa said squirrel. We do that all the time. And thank you, Brogu. Yeah, I only need 6 more to 700. I'm obsessed with zeros. I like zeros and 5s.
Oh.
So it's like, I don't know, it's an odd thing with me. It's like, I just like to get to the even number, the next 10. I do everything incrementally. So, but we'll get there one day. And yes, Fallout Dave was talking about what I said with the missus. Yes, it was great how happy she was. She truly was.
Yeah, congratulations.
Just really amazing.
That's terrific. Yeah.
Absolutely. And yes, we love you guys too. You're cool. Thank you. This is for you. I think everybody loves raspberries. I love it. It's awesome. So let's see. And Brogan says, I missed you so much. Hope you've been doing well.
I have. Thank you, sweetheart.
Yeah. So,
miss you too.
Absolutely. What? Job. What's that? I got you. And they're responding to the we.
JT Cook.
Yes, exactly. So let's see. And here's the missus herself. Yay!
Hey.
You see the missus here tonight with us. So
again, congratulations.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Are y'all talking about doing a Swamp Thing movie? I know you and Gwagnar, or Gwagnar does some, but any truth to those rumors?
I absolutely don't know.
Okay.
I 100% don't know.
Okay. I'm not ready for it either. I agree. But it's interesting your reasons for being for it. We down here, we don't even think about that. And it's Timey Wimey Limey. Hello tonight. Good to see you tonight. Yes, exactly. And Wes Cagle.
West.
Our Wednesday and Friday night guy that's come on our Squirrel streams with me now. And actually, he's my guest next Thursday night for a chilling with.
Yeah.
We're actually going to learn more about Wes Cagle next Thursday. So if y'all are around, meet us at 10 o'clock Thursday night for that time. So
good stuff.
He said we do have lions and tigers and bears here, but mostly squirrels.
Oh my.
Exactly. Well, that's how we got the squirrel title around here to call them Squirrel Streams, is because when the late night streams just started happening, Hungry Boy and I would just go on random live at night. And then it took us like 3 streams to actually do a whole series on breakfast cereals to where we were done, because we kept getting off topic every episode.
Yep.
And like in a 3-hour show, we could cover one night. We said like 3.5 hours. We did like 34 topics,
Well,
just bouncing all over the place. So,
well, that's good.
like I said tonight, we can do whatever, whenever, and all the stuff that you want to do. So,
That's less podcasting and that's more talk radio. So I'm sure everyone really liked it.
oh yeah, it's been great, great, and that's why I like it. I like having freedom to improvise and go in different directions in a show. Some we planned, like special theories, like when you came on specifically with a book, or if I'm doing a history thing, you got to script them, you got to plan them, and all. But I just right now, life is just so crazy. It's like I'd like to do a lot more American history, especially with our Civil War sites and stuff. But you really have to plan them and organize it to do it right.
You do.
And
what is Vicky Kirk saying here? Chicken Man can teach you how to breathe. Dad Man walking.
I don't know who's Chicken Man.
Are you referring to the bar rodent?
The bar rodent. I gotta see. I'm sure JT will message me with that one. So we'll see. All right, Snortapoopus. Snortapoopus, you rest well tonight. Thank you for swinging by, though. We appreciate it, though.
Good night, Snortapoopus.
Yeah, exactly. So. Oh, no, Tim. No, I'm not sick. Not this time. Not this time. Oh, the coach, Sigmund Freud, sometimes a cough is a cough. Yes. Well.
Lemon pie and Real White Nation.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm really good. Let's see. I'm sorry. I'm trying to move through this. So, okay. Let's see. JT does have to go.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Salute to you. Got to do some Star Trek. Have a great show. Yes.
Bye, sweetheart.
You take care, sir. Have a good night.
Thank you for being here to support us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. See how you go. Okay. The less daylight, the better. I kind of agree. I like the dark. It's effectively time travel. Yeah, I know. I don't get in time travel. I just, as people start talking that, my eyes glaze over, and I'm like, I'm just going to do. Yeah, you too, buddy. Take care. And yes, hit that like button. Yes, exactly. Now, Wes says he likes it when it stays light till 9, but I don't want some coming up till 7. That's what happens when I go west to the daggum central time zone. When I'm at my in-laws, it gets lighter earlier in the morning. I'm like, it wakes me up. And I'm like, dang it. I need better curtains because I want to sleep longer. So, yeah. Oh, God, Atwood. You love the winter then. That's true. So, yeah. No. And then Mrs. said, the guys were great. It was just one guy one time. I definitely proved them wrong with that one guy's success.
Good.
I know. Yes. And she said, thank you also for the congratulations. And all right, here we go. Would you like to say this name?
Oh, lemon pie. I love you, lemon pie.
Hello, Citrus. Good to see you tonight, lemon pie. How are you doing? So, yeah, you're back on your laptop, Wade. Congrats. Yes. Good to see you too. Yeah, hopefully y'all's keep working. Your computer keeps working. So, but okay. And Wade says East Coast is too early. Look, everything's too early for me. I'd like to get up at 12 noon every day, but unfortunately, doing what I do for a living, it's kind of frowned on. So
I've worked nights my whole life, my entire life, even in teaching. I would do nighttime lectures, and I had all of the older students. So I've always worked at night, always, and it's progressively gotten earlier. Like I don't have to stay. My ex and I, we owned a bar together and some restaurants, and then you're up until 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. But it's not like that anymore. But I'm still working in the late afternoon and evening, right? So I feel for you, but I love having the sunshine. It's nice.
I guess it's both a curse and a blessing because I always like to go when the missus worked overnight at the TV station because I like staying up overnight, especially on the weekends and stuff. There's just something neat about it, about the silence, the quiet. But I don't know, just the day. There's too many people around. It's nice when everybody goes home, Do you like working better at night or do you working better in the day? Okay. So, but now you've kind of had to adjust though.
Yeah, but at the same time, not too much. Like I said, it's a
Mm,
little bit earlier, but not
yeah.
really. So you're still getting a full work day, but you're starting in the late morning instead, and that's okay. That suits my needs. But yeah, I've worked my entire life. Uh,
Hmm.
I'm more than a half century old now, and I've worked my entire life at night.
Oh, yeah, I can understand that. I know that Mrs. had preferred it because all I've known is daytime work, and sometimes they want us there earlier, like even before 8. And it's like, just I'm like, I say that I'm a night owl trapped in a daytime career,
That's
and
awful.
it is awful because I would like to stay up later. I'd like to do stuff later because sometimes more people, especially with the time zones in the Pacific, they have more time. But when it's midnight or 1 o'clock and they're just getting going, you got to go to bed because you got to be up at 6 o'clock in the morning. It's
Yeah,
like,
but see, this doesn't make sense to me because we're no longer an agrarian society. So we don't need to, get up before the cock crows. And the thing is that, I've read article after article and paper after paper on this neurology of sleep rhythm and when the brain turns on, and especially for people who are going to school and people involved with math. It's my understanding, though you would have to go and look it up because I don't like to talk about things unless I bring receipts. But you can very easily look this up because it's widely known. But your brain is turning on for those sort of math professions at about 10:30 in the morning. So why wake people up at that time? It just baffles me. And although kids don't want to hear this, we also had summer vacation so that kids could be a part of bringing in the harvest. They could help on the farm, and they could be hands for not only their families but their families and their neighbors. And we're not doing that anymore. So kids should go to school. I believe they should have all of their holidays to observe their religious holidays and so on and so forth. But I do think they should have to go to school all year long. But I do not think that we should be following that agrarian, you know, time. There's no need to get up that early, and no one's brain is on. No one's brain is on.
well, it's interesting because see, the missus brings up a point to that. And let me say hello, Sashi. He's got the 2 pair of lenses to cut. He'll be back in a little bit. So good to see you
Sashay!
again over in Malaysia. So, but to that point, like the missus said, she homeschooled both of our kids all 12 years, from kindergarten through high school, and let the kids sleep naturally. I mean, our older kid eventually started becoming the early morning person, would get
Mhm,
done and all this stuff. Our older would sleep in, do it later, and it just let the natural pace go, and we actually were more for doing school year round, I think most of the 12 years,
mhm,
because
mhm,
we would travel in the winter or when other people didn't travel,
mhm.
but my kids were also doing schoolwork in the summer
Yeah.
a lot of times. But
Well, it's really hard for them too. We used to think, growing up that you were done cooking when you were between 16 and 18. And
mhm,
many people who were born in the 1930s and the 1940s and had kids, they raised them that way. That was our culture. The vast majority of people who you went to school with, they either didn't finish high school or they didn't go to university. And now we know that, you're not done cooking when you're 16 or 18 years old. Their neurologists are now saying, what is it, 24 to 27, that your brain is still developing. So, I mean, that's why they sleep all day and they're so annoying.
yeah, yeah. Well, I tell you, I feel sorry for the poor public school kids because I'm sitting there going to work when it's still dark in the winter and it's like 7 o'clock and it's still dark out and they're all having to wait for the buses. Like that's just wrong. That's just so wrong with so many things.
It's so true. And there's no reason for anyone to be doing that. None.
Yeah.
We
Uh,
don't have to bring in the harvest. Nobody is having a 6,000 calorie day to bring in the harvest. No one is doing that anymore. Well, not
well,
no one, but just not everyone. Do
well,
you know
my
what I
thing with
mean?
the schools, why do we have to have 7 freaking periods? Why not do 6? Why not
Mhm,
flex schedule different topics during the day? Maybe less time over more days or something,
mhm.
because it's like, I mean, kids, I don't see how any of these kids can function. One, between the amount of homework they're given, many times, because that's especially, well, I hear that even high school has even gotten a lot worse. But then you're expecting them to be up at the crack of dawn or early in the morning, then to go stay through in the afternoon, that they have some extracurriculars. How the heck are they to get homework, or how do they get enough sleep? I mean, because people want to do some social stuff at night. I mean,
They
I
do, and
know
it's worse
I'm
for kids
trapped and
in
pushed on
Canada.
it.
I'm
What's
sorry
that?
to interrupt, but
Yeah.
it's what you're saying. I just want to echo and amplify that, because it's worse for kids in Canada, because most of the young fellas here in Canada, they start
Hmm.
at a very young age with hockey. So many of them are getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, 4:30 in the morning, and heading out to play hockey before school. And so,
Swimming
yeah.
here.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
swimming there. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just like I totally agree with you. When do they have time? And not only the way that we live, parents are the ones doing all the driving. And so,
Hmm.
it's just I don't know. I think it just creates chaos, don't you think?
Oh, I do. I do. And I think I tell you, long term, I still subscribe to the theory that that's why we're having a lot more injuries, even in pro sports, career
Mhm.
ending. That's why we're having, I mean, you look at Nolan Ryan, who pitched like forever and really stayed healthy his whole career, many pitchers. And then that was the days that they would throw nine complete games all the time. You had a 4-man, 5-man rotation. Nowadays, they're talking about 6-man rotations, are pitching only 5 innings, putting everybody on pitch counts. And I'm like, I can't, because they got to protect their arms. And I can't help but think that a lot of that has to do that these kids are playing multiple sports from
Mhm.
so much earlier to so later in life. And it's just like
Mhm.
the body, there's no off season. Because like
Mhm.
in the 1970s, the guys are big and fat and all that. They come out, they need to use a train out. But now these guys are working out all year because of the
Mhm.
demand stuff. And your body, I think, just breaks down faster when exercise is good. Don't get me wrong, and stuff. But this constant training like that, where you don't get it time to relax and recover, and especially when you start so early in life, I just think it brings on bad consequences later down the road.
I think
Uh,
so too, and I think that something can be said for all of the data and all of the research we have on the way that we process. So if we want deep learning, maybe we should spend a half a day just on math and the other
mhm.
half the day on just science. Allow
Yeah,
the kids to process what they're learning and spend some time with it. And then the next day, do the language arts and the social studies. And
right.
but having 7 different subjects every single day, I just think that what it does is it forces the parents to turn into the teachers. And so the material is just mounding up, and there's more and more material to learn and less time in which to do it. And parents and kids are not getting the support they need.
No, I agree. And Canadian Spider Man's here. He said hockey.
Hooray!
Yeah, did lots of that. No screen time other than Saturday morning because they were busy. But he also said he's headed to Pacific Mexico on Wednesday.
Oh, well, have a great trip. Travel
Yeah.
safely. Have a good
Oh,
time. Cerveza, por favor.
oh gosh, Sashi said over there in Malaysia, at least you guys have lockers. Over here we carry massive backpacks. I've I've seen kids carried so many books they're dwarfed by their bags. But yes, I can believe that. So Brogu said in his area, get up early in the morning to see the track and field kids running down the street before school. Feel bad for them. I know. I'd like to be
Yeah,
sleeping that time of morning because you
yeah.
need rest. All these kids are poster challenged and
Mhm.
my oldest getting through undergrad was like the amount of homework all the time was just like impossible. But
Yeah.
it's like, I mean, I couldn't have survived college now. I mean,
Oh,
because with my major and the things I did, we did a few tests. That was it. I mean, but it's accounting, but it just, I, college should still be fun. There's got to be a way to do it without working everybody to death. Now, when you get up into graduate and the doctorals, yeah, I get it because there are reasons for a lot of that stuff. But like when you're a freshman in college and you're taking undergrad, like history 101,
yeah, yeah.
and I heard about the workload requirements, it's like papers, and you're not even studying history as a major, but you're writing a paper for like a freshman's English class, just freshman history.
It's super competitive now. Hey, did you know that 2 amazing people just walked through the door?
I think I just saw. Is this one of them?
Michael and Cassandra Beacom are
Oh, I
here.
didn't
Good
see Cassandra.
evening,
Where's
Beacums.
Cassandra?
Well, she's usually in the same room as
Okay.
him. or
Well,
she
hello, Michael.
waves from the other room. So I always say hello to her too, because Cass is such a great lady. So good evening, Beacons. And
Hello.
Pop 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 is here.
Yes, Pop Culture Republic. Howdy, y'all. Good to see you tonight, Pop Culture Republic. Hey, hope you're doing well. But hey, but yeah, oh gosh, oh, the 7 subjects is ridiculous. Yeah,
Yeah, there's no need for that. Why are they doing that? And the
yes,
kids don't have time to process what they're learning. And so
hmm
they go home, and these frustrated parents who, who went to school, 20 or 30 years prior to this, they don't have the skills to do the trickle down math. Many parents weren't doing this level of algebra in grade 4. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. And parents are at their wits' end trying to figure out how they're supposed to teach their children things they never learned in school, because it's really mounding, and it's trickling into the lower grades,
yeah.
this mass download of information, right?
Well, also they start earlier with all this pre-universal pre-K, like at 3 and 4 years old, and it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of took, we did not start our kids, and we, like I said, we homeschooled, but we did not start them till they were required to go to kindergarten. That's what it is, because we wanted them to grow, develop, learn on their own naturally up until that point, and then we got it going. And it just, I don't know. It may be some babysitting. I don't know, because I know everybody's situations are different. But
Mhm.
I just know, it was looking back, 7 subjects were kind of ridiculous, because you barely
Yeah.
got the time to scratch the surface
Yeah.
on stuff, and then ding, the bell ring. You got to move on. You know.
Yeah, it doesn't
And
it doesn't make any sense. Oh, and yes, Cass
then
is here. Cass is here. She's listening from the couch. Everybody
all
wave to
right, woo,
Cass. I love
hi.
the Beacons. The Beacons are the kindest, most wonderful couple. They're interesting, they're intelligent, they're well read, and most of all, they're fun. I love them. Love the
That's
Beacons.
all. Well, we got 17 people with us here. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all being here, hanging out with Raquel and me. So we shall see what comes. We're kind of, I think we're, tonight's truly a squirrel stream. Like I told Raquel, we have no plan, we have no agenda. We were going to see where things go. Like this topic just come out of nowhere, kind of a more serious topic, but I'm sure we'll get onto some fun stuff. So, but yeah, but these are, I still look at a lot of it. I even look at with sports too. Some disagree with me, but I I think the same thing with education, though. I think with sports is they're starting them way too early, way too often. They're too young. The bodies never get rest. And I think they're more susceptible to break down when they're in high school and college, and then and pros, because it's like you can't tell me that Nolan Ryan or Roger Clemens, those guys from the great old days, they were workhorses, and they didn't fall apart. They could throw every fourth, third day if they had to, which was the standard. Nowadays it's like everybody's so soft that, well, we got to watch them, because it's like in the education, it's like now you overloaded them to the point where how are they going to, they start to fall apart. They can't rest, they can't sleep, they're nervous, they're a wreck about falling behind. And I don't think school should be the social place, but I tell you what, the kids should be able to have something of a life. Like when we were done, we got out, we were able to play with our friends or do whatever else. But I don't see, if you're trying to get through high school now, I don't see how you have much time with what they say with the amount of homework. I know my oldest kid, like I said, the oldest kid, like said they had no free time, even when they were a freshman or sophomore in college, just doing introductory subjects, which was a culture shock to me.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is there's a lot more information, and they need to learn a lot more now, Dad man.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I was growing up in the 70s, most people at that time were living until they were 50 or 60 years old. Many people, smoked 2 packs of cigarettes a day. And if they didn't smoke at all, they worked in places where,
Mm-hmm.
200 and 300 people were smoking cigarettes. A lot of people died from various cancers at that time. And that's just the way it was. And many people quit high school, and they were not looked down upon because they had jobs waiting for them.
Mhm.
Mechanics made good money back then, and machinists made good money back then. And there were plenty of jobs that really mattered to society and were in a high value in society. At that time, I mean, I remember when I was 16 years old, every guy I knew had a car, and most of the girls as well. And everyone had a single screwdriver, and they could fix their car with that one screwdriver. And so, you just,
Oh.
this is the thing, is that there has been such a creep in moving forward, and such a creep of having more and more and more access to information, that our systems for disseminating this information, for teaching this information, they just really
Mhm.
haven't responded to the need. I mean, it's a lot. And so I think the systems need to flex and change to accommodate the fact that it's way more information, and that a lot more people need to do it now.
Mhm.
Even if you're going to go and become a mechanic now, you're going to need an awful lot more than a single screwdriver. You
Mhm.
have to go to school, and you have to study computers and computer systems and diagnostics and all these things. So there has been a massive shift in the way society operates, and I
Mhm.
just don't think that the systems for managing that have responded to the needs of the people who are working within those systems.
Let me take the second to remind y'all, smash that like button, hit subscribe, please. If you don't, we do have somebody new in here. Hurt
Dooby
130.
dooby!
Hooby Dooby is here. Hey,
Somebody in
welcome.
the chat, please, pour that man a tequila.
Uh oh.
It's a Star
Oh,
Trek
that's
joke. Uh,
okay. That's
he's
cool.
yeah, he's Zephram Cochrane, and of course, I am not Counselor Cameltoe. However, I am sitting beside her, and I am pouring Herc the Ooby Dooby tequila.
All right. Well, welcome. Enjoy. Sit back, relax. We're just getting started. We're 45 minutes in already. It's amazing how time flies with you. It really is. See, you talked about that. I'm going to get back. I'm going to. I see where I am in the chat. We're going to come up to this one here. I'm sorry, this one here. But before we hit it, you said something like with a screwdriver. I think it's not just the educational system; it's the technology too, because I would like them to just make a $10,000 car, no bells and whistles, that you could fix and repair it yourself. Now, every oil change is $100 because you got synthetic fluids, you got all these computer bells and whistles, all this crap. They position everything where nobody can actually do something on the cars themselves. Like, so not just the education and the systems like that. It's like the technology is forcing us where we become so reliant on having to rely on other people to fix things for us. I mean, everything sort of is changing to a part where, almost taking away the individualism of the freedom of the individual to do what they want. Because, like now in modern cars, you gotta have the computer technology if you're going to work on something, or the
Well,
AC stuff.
that's exactly it. I have Apple CarPlay, and my car is completely reliant upon its computer systems, and it's a glorious vehicle to drive. And many kids, many young men are turning my model of car into drift cars.
Mhm.
And I love it. I mean, I was middle aged before I could afford to buy my
Mhm.
very own car, paid for by yours truly, because I did go to school and I worked hard and I worked, I had a
Oh
very
yeah.
modest upbringing, right? So, but
Mhm.
yeah, it's just very different. I remember hanging out with the guys, and you could see the guys up on the drag on Friday night, and they all had these beautiful muscle cars and slick 50s on Cudas and all these beautiful things. But that's gone now, and I don't think young men know how to do any of that. And you're not going to believe who is here. A man who
I
is
I
so nice, you should say his name twice, perhaps thrice. Larry, Larry, Larry! I love you, Larry! Mwah, mwah!
you got a bonus Larry in there, Larry.
I love him. I love him. Yeah,
Ah,
he's like the captain of my publishing team. He's
awesome.
everything. He's such a sweet person.
Well,
I
that's
love that
nice.
man.
Well, I'm always honored when names like famous names like his come by, and because it's
Yes.
like really see them everywhere around the internet. Hey, thank you for being here tonight, Larry. Really appreciate all y'all being here. Like I said, please, if y'all can help me get to 700, I appreciate it because we're really close. Also, my wife, Mrs. Dadman Walking 55, who subscribed to her, but oh man, she busted up. She's almost at 600 after yesterday. It's like, holy crap. But it's just amazing. So, but thank you guys, and you guys rock, all of y'all out here. We got 21 people here tonight, Raquel. How about
Nice.
that?
Oh, that's great. That's
That is
great.
awesome. Before we go back to the comment that I had just started there, but Pop Culture Republic said he could repair about anything as old Chevy.
Yeah.
Same thing for Jeep I once owned and miss
Yeah.
owning. Yeah, you can't touch the newer cars these days.
No.
And I had to sell my 95 pickup truck.
Yeah.
I was so sad because 3 cars and insurance is like, it's like you can't drive everything with only 2 people, but it's interesting. Michael said that Cassandra and him go round about the school. Yep. She worked for an upper class school for 16 years, believes in school year round. He believes in summer school.
I also believe in summer vacation. I just don't think it should be like 2.5 months or whatever, because the thing is this, the kids get about 2 weeks off at Christmas time. Then they get about 2 weeks off for spring break. And then it seems like every 3 weeks they've got a PD day, and most schools are letting them go early on Fridays. So they have all of these periodic, days off, including holy days, especially if your kid goes to Catholic school like mine did. So, I mean, I think a little break is nice. I just think that shutting the brain off for 2.5 or 3 months is just, it's way too much in an information society. But I agree with both Cass and Michael here. Cassandra and Michael are both right. It's really just navigating this overwhelming amount of information, and the fact that way more information is required than it used to be, and the difficulty is trickling down. The difficulty is definitely trickling down. I'm seeing things that the kids are learning in grade 6 and grade 7 that people were learning in grade 12 in my day. So it's cray, as William Shatner would say.
Are you saying that maybe they're advancing them too fast?
Yeah, I do. And I think it's exacerbated by the fact that the systems that we have that control how this information is disseminated and how we educate people, they've not responded to the new needs. I mean, slapping a smart board in a classroom doesn't make the teaching any better. There are schools now in whole school districts in both the United States and Canada that have gone paper free. And this is very upsetting for me, because, I didn't bring any receipts with me, but you're welcome to look this up on Google and do your research on it. But, we neurologically, we need to write with our hand. Cursive writing, I do believe, creates new neuroanatomical or neural connections in the brain. I mean, we need deep thought. We need deep reading. We need to work our brains, and going paperless, I don't think is helpful. Our brains need to write. Our brains crave cursive like it's some sort of a drug, and we need time to process information.
Right. See, one thing that we do, we have to edit and proofread and stuff. I still print out it's all computer, but I print it out and look at it visually and make handwritten notes and look for errors and spacings and stuff. When some of my coworkers look at me and laugh like you're a dinosaur, but I'm like, visually I see it better, but I think it makes me think better, because when I look at a screen, I'm more okay. I'm more willing to let it pass. But if I see something in writing, it stops me, and I focus more intently on it to make sure I'm reading and understanding what I'm reading and writing. Because one of the things I taught with my oldest kid, that's in doctoral school right now, is that I like frustrating about the younger people like trying to come and do a job, and kids like, Dad, they don't teach them how to think or make a decision. They don't teach them to make a decision. Because I got younger was like, what do you want me to do? How do I do this? How do I do this? And I'm like, I can tell you the answer. It's not going to help you learn the job. You need to process with your mind, understand the deeper, big picture issues, and come to a decision. And I think sometimes it's that we want to work 30 hours a week, but get 40 hours of pay, or we just want to come in, get out, and be done. and not look. You need to truly take the time, commit to it, understand it deeper. That
Well,
it's
and you raise a good point that I try and share with my students, although I normally bring up the information to back what I'm saying. But if you look this up, you can see the research where we've learned that, if we read something, we're getting a certain amount of retention. If
mhm.
we read something and then we write it down, so we take the notes or we copy the notes from it, we get a certain amount of retention. I think it's in and around 35%. And if we're drilling and we're using rote and we're using flashcards and things like that, I think it's in and around, you would have to bring up the charts because they're well known figures, but I think it's around 70% or 75% or something of that nature. But if you sit down and teach it to someone like your mom or your
Mhm.
child, and you pretend that you're teaching it to somebody, you can get 90% retention or better. And so this whole idea of this paperless education, I think it is, really, it's exacerbating this this avalanche of information with no means and no time and no place in which to process it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's societal frustrations that are getting worse. And the thing is, I had to treat them and talk to them differently than I do some of my own generation,
Hmm.
because it's like I've just talked matter of factly to somebody. Okay, we do. Whenever, like if I had West Cable, blah blah blah, and he's like, okay, blah 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 back and whatever. But so many of the young people, it's like not all of them, but it's like you yelled at me. I'm like, what? I didn't yell at you. I just told you very matter of factly that this is what you need to do. Well, you had a tone. I'm like, I'm just, it's crazy because I get, it's like you got to learn to get a tough skin with some of this stuff. So, but Final Day believes in vacation all year round. Yes, this is one of our channel troublemakers here, Raquel. So it's
Dave,
like, yeah,
Dave.
I'm getting called out to the chat. Everybody, Brogu's talking. Larry, and Michael Beacom, they're all talking to each other. Lemon Pie said, "I love your body, Larry. Larry." Quotes from Fletch. Like, I'm afraid to ask what that come from. So, but there's the laugh. Yeah, we're not going to be all serious tonight. We're going to have some fun too. We just, like I said, we got off into this, and and I was just show this because I know Raquel mentioned that too. Miss the Saturday Night Star Trek. I
I
will tell
do.
you. I will tell you. Let's see this. Yeah, I do too. I hate. Yeah, that is a problem. So, oh yeah, we had screens of 25-inch TVs in the living room. I only had 3 channels, and yeah,
Yeah.
mom. And then if you were the kid, you were the remote control. So
That is
yeah.
100% true. And something that Claudia and I used to talk a lot about that people didn't understand because they weren't from our generation is you also had a lot of people with the floor model television that was either black and white or color. And I know
Mm-hmm.
when I tell that to people or I remind people of that, it blows their mind. But I mean, that's the way it was. I mean, black and white was a significantly cheaper television. And so you could have a color television or you could have a black and white television. And many times, it was a massive family investment to have the floor model. And they
Mm-hmm.
came, especially the Quasar. The Quasar came with a 20, I believe it was
Yep.
20, or was it a 25-year guarantee? Not a warranty, a guarantee. I mean, those giant tubes, they really worked, right?
Oh yeah, they
Please
did.
Google that because I'm not sure if it's 20 or 25 years, but it was a long time, right? And you could count on it working. I mean, I just got rid of a fridge that was working in my home since 1967.
Oh, that sounds like our house a few years ago. We had the original toilets too. So the original
Well,
hot water heater, the original stove at the one point.
because everything still worked. Do you want to know the worst thing about that is when I got my new fridge, I because I wanted to hold more fruits and vegetables in it, and I wanted them to be higher up as we get older. I
Right?
actually put it on an upcycle site, and some hulking, handsome young fella who does meal prep for his job and for working out. He came over and picked the fridge up so that he could have it for his meal prep. So it's still working somewhere.
Well, there you
Tatman.
go. Hey, perfectly good. We watched the movie Better Off Dead last night. Are you familiar with that black comedy from 1985?
No.
Charlie Cusack. Oh well, it's like it just okay. It's got all kinds of things like sorry Ricky, your mom blew up because she drank the liquor and the living
God.
room blew out the window. You might like it really cool. And they got one scene to tree trimmers because the guy fell in the back of a garbage truck. And he just sitting in the back there and he's man, it's sad when you see people throw a perfectly good white boy like that. It was just like lines like that. Yes, if they're not broken, don't replace them. You know, our hot water heater lasted till
Everything lasted
ever.
forever
Yeah,
and ever and ever. Did you know
I,
that Cassandra went and hopped on your show, and she is wishing everyone a happy International Women's Day?
oh,
Everyone say hello to
oh
Cassandra.
wow, yeah. Thank you for seeing that. I was trying to go back, but yeah, Cassandra, welcome. Great to have you too today. Absolutely with us. So appreciate you being there with Michael. Ah, gosh, you guys are rocking out there tonight. We will catch up with the chat. So, by the way, I did want to. I'm trying to get back there. I'm not used to having this much. Well, I am, but it's kind of cool. I'm really kind of like in a chill mode tonight, which is kind of cool with this. So, Barkley should have made his move on Counselor Camel Toe. I wanted to come back. Lemon pie.
He totally should have gone for Counselor Camel Toe. He should have when she said, "Where are you?" He should have said, "I'm here." No, I'm kidding. No, broccoli should have locked that down. He probably would have been able to, yeah, you know.
Yeah, yeah. That's I you know, the one thing that I do miss, one of the greatest things I think with that Saturday night show that happened was that it introduced me to the animated series,
Yeah,
which
good stuff.
I thought was a wonderful introduction for me. You know, I come from the Bang Bang Pew Pew, all that, like we talk about from the science fantasy side with the Star Wars stuff and all that. So, you know, it was an adjustment into Star Trek, but the animated series just was really, really good. And
Yeah.
it was short, but it kept the interest. I think it was better than the new generation. I thought that was really interesting, and to learn
Well, you're
that
not alone there.
the animated series was actually a kids' Saturday morning show, I believe.
Well, no.
Or no, it wasn't, or was it?
It was
What?
never ever
It
meant
was not
to
okay. I
never ever meant never ever 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 meant
so
for children, and it upset DC Fontana and Gene Roddenberry very much when people said that, enough so
mhm,
that they wrote they co-wrote a very nasty letter in regards to that. But the reason
mhm,
why you know TAS is so
mhm,
special is because it became Gene's playground. Some of the ideas that could not be achieved through practical effects
right.
could be realized in that show. Just the budget wasn't there, and then then we had some a bit of the studio messing around and sort of interfering at a certain point and upsetting
Mhm,
everyone. But it's just Gene Roddenberry was a genius,
mhm.
and I just love the wonderful things that he created.
Mhm.
And yes, Larry, it definitely was shown on Saturday mornings, but he was
Yeah.
pretty upset about it.
Oh,
Um,
I'm sure, but still, I think though that was not necessarily bad in this sense because it wasn't like modern cartoons, you know, because Saturday morning cartoons used to be very cerebral in a lot of ways. They weren't
mhm,
just stupid. It wasn't just like SpongeBob type stuff. And you know, that's why I appreciate it. That's why I was going to compliment it because yeah, it may not have been intended, but if it was shown on Saturday mornings, it's what we got as kids,
mhm.
which was a lot better for kids and learning development back then when we grew up versus like now where it's Doc McStuffins and Bear. You know,
Mhm.
it was more challenging. It presented them with concepts and ideas to advance at an early age. I do need to say hello to Connie Cleary.
Hello.
Cassandra said hello again, and there's Connie Cleary. Hello, Connie. How are you tonight? good to see that. So, oh gosh, Michael's joking with Cassandra now. She's saying, so is she saying that I should go for international women? All right. Oh, so my dad used to repair TVs. He was an independent serviceman, and he told me years ago, don't go in. He said, get your degree, go to college, get because he saw the future of the television industry. He's like, he passed away in 98, but I was in college, late 80s, early 90s. He's like, don't keep this, because he said the industry's dying because the manufacturers were making things where you couldn't get your hands on the parts or the service information, and they were making everything cheaper and more disposable. And I'm like, because he knew me, he knew I feel guilty about not keeping the family business going. But it's interesting how everything became more disposable over time. We used to have this big battleship TVs that got fixed, got repaired. Now it's like, hey, go buy $200. You can find a TV $250 really easily,
Yeah,
So
it's just so true. It's just so true. But it has become they've ensured that we can't fix them, and that they have a very short shelf life, and that's either through cheap manufacturing or forced obsolescence. And so take your pick, right?
Yep. I do love this. Michael Beacom. It gives me the clarification on the Fletch reference. Character played by Gina Davis was called Larry. Oh gosh. So okay, I got it now. Chevy Chase Spontaneous says, "I love your body, Larry," in the middle of a non-related dialogue. Okay. Thank you. I love that. Feel free to throw stuff like that in the chat. We like that too, because we'll take right turns as we need it. And Better Off Dead is not life as it really was, but as you remembered. I love that movie. It is really a mindless, crazy, just stupid hokiness. And they had a French dinner in honor of the French exchange student. They had the mom's like French bread, French fries, French dressing. I mean, like what? You got to see it. It's really one of those. If you like dumb movies, it was really, really one of those things. So
it depends. It depends for me, because I believe that The Three Amigos and Dirty Rotten Scoundrels are the two funniest movies ever created, and I don't even think it's close. I don't think that anything even maybe Uncle Buck and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles comes close, but for sure, they're two of the funniest. But I don't like Will Ferrell, and I don't like Jim Carrey.
Oh, guess what? You're right in line with me and the missus. Jim Carrey for very certain specific roles, but forget him as the Riddler in Batman. There's only Frank Gorshin's the only Riddler for me, in the Batman. But Carrey's annoying, and Will Ferrell. We can't even watch the movie Elf. We did Christmas movies this year, reviewed them. It had funny parts, but we hated him. It's like there's too much.
There's another one that I can't stand. What's his name? Philip C. Riley, is that his name?
Oh yeah, that guy.
So that kind of stupid does not work for me. But you also have to realize that I grew up watching Jerry Lewis, and Jerry Lewis was a massive part of my childhood. Because that was what was on television, right. And I absolutely adored him. So, but some would say that's dumb humor, but I don't think that's dumb humor. I think it's incredibly intelligent, physical humor, and it makes us aware of the things that humiliate us. And
everybody's different. That's great. You like that. Mine was Beavis and Butthead. I'll be honest.
Oh, so you're done with Beavis and Butthead. Well, who loved
my dad would look at me and say, $40,000 education, and you're watching that.
Clobby loved it.
I know he did. We would sit on Mark's chair. He'd do that stuff. It was great.
Just ridiculous. Yes. Oh, Oliver Belamonte just walked through the door.
Oh, wow.
Oliver
Belamonte. Where's that?
He's here.
There he is. Hey,
and I hope
Oliver.
He has a question. Do you have a question for us tonight?
Yeah, feel free. Ask some questions. We'll take into them. But I want to hit this point real quick Michael Beacom had right here, because I think this as The Simpsons. Because when The Simpsons started coming out, people are like, well, it can't be because it's animated. And I'm like, why does everything animated have to be for kids? Why can't adults have something animated? Because obviously Bart Simpson was not a good role model for kids, especially back then. But nowadays, he's an angel compared to what we got now. But that type of thing is some parents made the mistake that, well, it's animated, so it should be for kids. No, it's not. And you need to screen it, because we had one mother like wondering why this little baby is trying to kill their mother all the time. And then where it's like, lady, you're talking about Family Guy. And we're like, have you seen it? No, he just goes and watch it. You might want to look at the movie. And then she came back horrified, like, oh my gosh, I cut that out now. And I'm like, you think? It's like, oh, come on. I do miss Saturday morning cartoons. That was a great day, waking up, getting to watch cartoons all the way to noon, and then football started at noon. So let me see. Yes. Oh, that's another one. Men at Work 1990. Someone do perfectly good white boy. Yes, exactly. There is yeah. So let's see. I've never heard of a female there. Okay. Yes, Sears are not around anyway. And then of course there's Oliver Belamonte. Good to see Oliver. Welcome in today. Yes, Cassandra remembers $2. The paperboy wants his $2, chasing Wes Cagle down for his $2. So, Michael will put Better Off Dead on par with Three Amigos anytime. All right. Well, we might have I will have to say I could not get in Three Amigos.
But listen,
but, yeah.
Michael Beacom, I'm sorry to interrupt you 1 second.
No, go ahead.
Dad man, Michael Beacom, your movie does not have blue shadows. So there's no way that it will ever be on par with the Three Amigos. Turn your head and cough.
Oh, I guess, see, in this case, I was never much of a Steve Martin fan. So I kind of, his movies just kind of, I don't know.
He's a wild and crazy guy.
I know that, but he's still better than Will Ferrell. Oh my God. But
I love Ruprecht. Don't you love Ruprecht?
Who's that?
From Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
I've never seen Dirty Rotten. I have never watched Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Oh my God, it is the funniest thing in the entire universe. There's nothing funnier than that.
Okay, I'll have to do that. I finally watched Princess Bride, but I'll have to get the missus to watch that too. It's a mad world. I tried to watch that one, but I started too late at night. But I hear that that's a great movie. But there's another movie done in, I think, the 2000s called Rat Race that's very similar to, based on that concept, that I've seen. And I love Rat Race. I thought it was a brilliant comedy, a lot of funny, a lot of stars. It was a great, but Madman World, I heard, is very, very good movie. Have you seen that one?
Actually, I'm not sure. I might have.
Okay. It's an old one, but it should be Ruprecht the Monkey Boy. Okay. I'll have to check it out then.
Yeah. Can I go to the bathroom?
Yes.
Excuse me. Can I go to the bathroom?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I like the more cowbell sketch, but I think Christopher Walken makes more cowbell more than Will Ferrell, but that's okay. Michael Beacom was saying everyone has the right part. Check Stranger Than Fiction. I've heard about that. No point does Ferrell ruin it with overgrown little boy humor. Yeah, because that's kind of like it with Elf. I know we have some people that worship Elf, but it's like the thing. Hey, wait a second, Chewy. Hey, Chewy, over on the Twitch side. Sorry, I'm just way behind on the chat. Good to see you today, Chewy. How are you doing? Yeah, he's a big basketball fan out there, big sports fan. He comes around sometimes when JT and I are talking sports, which I've not been able to do a lot lately. It's just been chaotic, but hey. And yeah, I also misses Saturday morning cartoons. I didn't realize they'd been gone away, that they had really gone away. And I'm like, man, that was just like a rite of passage. So, and yep, absolutely, we all do. But like I say, I look back at that as a legacy. You and him got me into the animated series, which really, really got me. And I do need to go back and watch the original series. I do. And
you should.
And it would be fun to do that.
You should do that for yourself.
Yeah, because the new stuff, we don't even need to bash it. Everybody does that. We know what the people say, unless you want to do one of those weird sound effects that you have for the crap stuff out there.
Well, I'm trying, but my dog is licking my face, and I'm just wondering how that sounds over the microphone. So I keep hitting mute. Do you know what I
That's
mean?
okay. Go for it. We'll take puppy dog noises too.
It's Paco, right? And Paco is he's a very spoiled dog who must be held at at all times. Say
That's
hello,
okay.
Paco. I'm sure
That is
everybody can
okay.
hear you. I give you kisses back. Good
There
boy.
you go. Oh, Fat Albert and Cosby Kids was funny when I was young. Yeah, that's another great series. So that all things. So Fat Albert was a great show. A lot of the things that we had back then. Uh let's see. Sasha was
Mrs.
listening in the background. Oh,
Bermudez!
Teresa's here tonight. Yeah. Sorry, I'm way behind tonight. But hey, yes, hello, Teresa. How are you tonight? Good to see you. As always. So let's see. Yeah, Sashi notes the younger clients can't make decisions for themselves now. I've actually heard that some of the younger generation actually have their parents going with them to job interviews. And it's like, yikes. That's, I don't know.
Did you
But
see what Sashi just said? When he performs an eye exam on younger clients who are perfectly capable of articulating themselves,
yeah.
they get anxious because he asks them, "Is this clear or is this clearer?" You know how like they give
Oh,
you
that
a
one.
choice.
There it is. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
They get
The eye
anxious
test.
when they won't answer.
I know.
Sashi, that's crazy.
I know. Yes, we have a plethora of opinions here right tonight. But I'll tell you, Herc, I'm going to be a little bit serious for a second, Raquel, if you don't mind. Herc, Beacon, the Beacons, Larry, a lot of, and some of the others I see you around on all the other chats and stuff, and I appreciate having everybody here tonight. So I'm going to really pump up. Hey, we're trying to get to 700. I'd love to have your subscription, but I'd love you to come and hang out with us as you can and many other things, because I tell you what, this comment is what I want on my channel. I am not an echo chamber. I do not want to say this is the way and y'all blindly say yeah. Every opinion's welcome here. Even if you want to say Darth Maul lives, like, don't do it, Fallout Dave. Don't do it. That's only for explanatory example purposes. But I'll take it. I'll live with it and all. But I like having multiple opinions because I think that's how we learn. And I tell you, I'm more about engaging in the argument because I don't want to browbeat people into believing what I do. Maybe have a good debate of the ideas and the reasons, and then let you come around to maybe I'm right or not. So I do appreciate that point, Herc, and feel
Well,
free
if I could offer you
if
some
you have an
feedback.
opinion, and let's say anybody chat. If you don't agree, feel free. You should be safe to be able to say what you want, and nobody put you down here. So yeah, go
Well,
ahead, Raquel.
Well, the thing is that it's not about putting down and all those things, or even, making sure that everybody has an opportunity to express their feelings. I really
Mm-hmm.
feel like what Claudia and I had was actually camaraderie. And so I think that what ended up happening is 200 to 300 people would show up to watch Saturday Night Star Trek. And there was just so much cohesion in the group, and everybody, they were all such great friends that even when they didn't agree, they made sure to love and respect one another. And I think that that type of environment needs to be cultivated, and it takes time to build for people to get to know one another and for people to step forward and start making friendships of their own, not only with the hosts and the person who's running the podcast, but with the people in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what makes and made Clobby's channel so special for
Mm-hmm.
he and I is
Yeah. Oh, he had strong opinions too.
yeah,
He had strong opinions, but he always encouraged. I mean,
yeah.
I know I'm sitting there going opposite of you and him on all these things. Says I didn't get my bang bang pew pew or whatever, and it was okay. It was good. Yes.
Fancy!
We what?
Fancy here. Fancy.
The Phantom Outsider, hell, Phantom Outsider. Good to see you. Yeah, he pops around a lot here too, so we good to see you. But hey, I just want to make sure y'all feel free, throw it out there in a stream like tonight. Who knows? You may throw something in the chat, and we may take our time and deal with it. Oh, this is a line from Better Off Dead. This is pure snow. Do you have any idea what the street value of this mountain is? Anyway,
Oh
yes,
my.
Mrs. You did hear that. I know. You'll have to sit me down and we watch it sometime. I have never seen the movie.
It is the
So,
funniest movie. in the entire world. And a very close second is The Three Amigos. And
Mhm.
sometimes I feel like The Three Amigos may be better than Dirty Rotten Scoundrels only when I get to sing Blue Shadows on the Trail
Mm.
with my husband and my daughter, all three of us singing it at the same time. And then we sing it spontaneously in the car. And
Mhm.
so, that makes The Three Amigos very powerful.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome when that happens. Family members, I guess, just don't mention Seth Rogen to Michael Beacom about the Green Hornet. No, I have not seen The Thing yet. Yes, exactly. So let's see. Chewy over on Twitch. In my neck of woods, when cartoons would then tried to seek other programs in the city. Some would be Mexican action flicks, but then as I got older, wait until the fall for college football. It was lucky to see games on ABC or CBS. Yeah, you're a lot like me. That's how my growing up it was. A Saturday morning cartoons, great cartoons, and then boom, football right there. Pop culture said Mad Mad World is a good one from what I remember. I do want to see that because I love rat rates. I do want to see that. And Raquel, for you, I will go with the missus. She'll show me Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. I will take that. So yes, and it is a remake.
Well, if you
Yeah.
like it, when you come back, I would like you
Mhm.
to bang on the back of a pot with a wooden spoon and yell, Oklahoma, 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 Oklahoma.
Okay, I'll do that then. Well, I tell you what, if I watch it, I'll have to have you on to talk about it.
Well, definitely.
Oh, cool. All right. I will say Princess Bride, I know a lot of which
Ugh.
Princess did you watch? That's one everybody tried to get you to watch, right?
I actually tried twice, and it was
I
just so dumb, I couldn't watch it.
I ended it with meh. Feel free. Hey, folks, I know this is our time to piss everybody off. That's okay. Just keep coming back because we'll have fun with it. At the end of it, I was like, that's it. I'm sorry. I know we have mutual friends and all this that love it and do all these things from it.
Yeah.
I know Inconceivable is great, but it's like, I was like, okay. I just sat there like, okay. I mean, obviously you couldn't get through it then, right?
No, I actually had to stop, but can I please just tap the brakes for 2 wags of a puppy's tail
Sure.
because I have
Yes.
to say goodnight to Brogu.
Oh,
Brogu,
good
I love
night.
you too. I will always care about you. I will always care about you as well, sweetheart. I am sending you a big hug. Thank you for saying this is the way. And you're just such a great person, and I'm so honored to count you among my friends. And so I will see you soon. You know how to find me. You're the best and love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Good night, sweetheart.
Yes. Very good night, Burgu. Glad you could make it and you take care. Yes. Let's see. Yeah. And Michael, Cassandra said, yeah, that's bonding, singing your children in the car. My
Yeah,
children, I used to sing. Yeah, that's what we did with our kids too. It's really, really cool when you can find things like that you can do as a
especially the
family.
horse part. Bum bum bum
Mm,
bum 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 bum.
yes.
Great, great
Ah,
movie. You had the Three
yes.
Amigos.
Yes. I'll have to watch that one now. But Michael says Mad World is the greatest comedy of all time. That's what they did. Every comedian was famous was in the movie. That's what they did with Rat Race. They had all these big stars in and that type of thing. So same type of concept. And it gave us Peter Falk. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, go Tigers. And of course, we said hello to Teresa coming in earlier. Uh, Oh gosh, he said Broku. He said that's a lucky dog. So hey, let's see. Let's see. Uh, oh,
Ooh,
by the way, yeah,
Maximum Redstone.
there he is, Max
King Dolphin
Redstone.
TV.
Hey, Raymond's here. Hey, welcome. I
King
got.
Dolphin
You
TV.
know, I am trying to catch up the chat. You guys, thank y'all for coming in. I will definitely catch up everybody. Right here. There you go. Inconceivable. Nice, nice.
And
But
Larry with the producers, 1967.
yeah,
Shout out to Larry for his excellent choice.
yes,
Yeah, baby. Yeah,
yes.
baby.
That's another one I haven't seen, but I will add it to the. I'm sure everybody's on me about. Have you seen this? Have you seen this? And I'm like, I'm just trying to get caught up with what I haven't seen yet. Yeah, Michael Beacon remembers when they released Fantasia in the 80s, parents bringing 4-year-olds and trying to tell them no. Yeah, I know. it happens. So Final Dave said the younger kids have trouble ordering off. And thank you, Michael. We appreciate that. And for anybody that's hit the subscribe button, thank y'all so much. It's appreciative. Mrs. Periodically put your chat out, your link out there too, because Mrs. My wife also does her own channel, and you know we appreciate the support both of us do it, and we help each other. Oh, 2 subs tonight. So we're at 696. We're only 4 away from 700. Thank you so much. But what's most important is getting to hang out with the great RM Briggs here, my friend, and laughing. And I got some other stuff behind us. And we're at an hour and a half, Raquel, and we still haven't got to something I wanted to
What'd
get
you talk
to.
about, Willis?
Yes.
It has not been an hour and a half.
Look at this. Look at this. My wife does this crap. She knows I gave Fallout Day the warning. And then this.
Well,
if the missus was on the panel with us, that's when I would remove her from the screen. So his foot lives on. Gee, thank you, Lemon Pie. Wow. Yeah, and then of course Phantom's here.
El Guapo.
El Guapo. Pop Culture Republic. Okay, you're laughing about it. Okay, that's the thing. Next sequel has to be somehow Darth Maul has come back. Yes. I'm at the why the hell did Darth Maul come back? Stage. Jeez. Anyway. Oh, he's back now. He's back now. Love that from that Rise of Palpatine movie. Yes. Yeah. They fly now. Yeah. Yeah. That's a perfect line right there. So, but yes. Let Snort Poopus know you said hi. He was on King Dolphin TV, but turned in early. Yeah. Snort Poopus was in here earlier today, Phantom Outsider, but had to go to bed. So, oh God. Here we go. Fallout Dave. Tell Lemon Pie will make the Darth Maul Lives trilogy for me. He can get blown up and dissolved and thrown in a black hole and live. Jeez. Hey, I'd take that now over what they've done. I will take that over what the hell they've done now. So yeah. Let's see. Michael Beacom. Hey guy, were you there the times I slammed Rathacon at the beginning of the death of Trek? After that, everything was pew pew with phasers. No, Michael Beacom, but I do remember the time when I said on a New Year's stream, and JT Kirk was on the panel, had never shown his face before. I just said, Rathacon's meh. He actually turned his camera on to look at me and stare at me very angrily. It was like,
good. You deserved it.
It was like, what? Okay, so I went back the second time. I liked it better because there was more pew pew than I thought. But I can understand. I can understand. Listen, coming from my side of things, I understand why the Trek people have that. I just know what my personal interests are. I come from the sci fantasy side, the shoot 'em up, blow 'em up, all that stuff. But I know that Trek was even in the original series and even the animated series, it was different. It was meant to be different. And I can see why the bang bang pew pew, could not be as accepted by the, with people that really love the original stuff. So, just like what they've done to Star Wars now, they made changes in Star Wars that have killed and destroyed the whole franchise, with what they've done. I can see something as simple as adding a lot more shoot 'em up, bang 'em up, can change a franchise in a direction that people don't want to go. I mean, do you have any thoughts on that, Raquel?
I'm still stunned at your comments about don't know what to say.
Well, I know that's why JT's just looked at me and stared at me on camera. He's like, but I will say the second time I watched it, I liked it a lot more. I was like, I think the first
like peer pressure to me, and you have to understand.
No. I know.
Star Trek is practically a religion to me.
Yes. Well, what had happened is I think that I was tired when I watched it the first time. And I was coming off watching the motion picture. Because that chick, when I was a kid, freaked me out with that bald head. Because I was not used to bald women back then. But it was like, so after watching the first one, and the ending was we got the Voyager satellite, and I'm like, then watching Khan being tired, but I like Khan a lot more the second one, but I loved Ricardo Montalban.
I have nothing to say. I just don't even know what to say. But I do wish that we had icons, the icons that I created for Kwabi, because I know there would be multiple shin kicks. I
Yeah.
should ask you for your agonizer, your agonizer, please.
Yes, I know.
But
Yes,
yeah,
exactly. Well, hey, Fallout Dave's with you on the Princess Bride. So,
yeah, the Princess Bride. It's just
yeah.
why? Why did you make that? And why do people like it? Why?
Yes, yeah. Oh God, let's see. Phantom Outsider said the backstory of Princess Bride makes it very interesting to see the writer of the screenplay wanted to make a movie of the book that his granddad read him when he was sick, but the book he was holding bore no resemblance to the story he told the grandson, as the granddad was just telling the kid a story he thought the grandson would enjoy.
Mm.
And yes, I like the original Blues Brothers, Jake and Elwood. After there's only one movie of that. Did you ever watch Blues Brothers?
I did.
What do you think? Did you like it?
I don't know. It didn't stick with me. It's not
Okay.
my thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There are some things that are like, I think too much credence is placed on objectivity, or not objectivity, but subjectivity when you see massive amounts of people talking about pop culture,
Mm-hmm.
because there is some objective, um, you know there is objective opinions in quality, right? Because if you have a whole bunch of people, normal people, and there are a lot of them agreeing that something is really good, chances are it is really good. And so you have some things that are objectively good,
Mm-hmm.
but that doesn't mean that they're your favorite things. And for me, the Blues Brothers, it's
I got
yeah,
you.
it
No,
was
yeah,
okay, but it's not something that, like, I ate up,
like
like a
Princess
culture
Bride.
vulture, and thought, "Oh, this is the greatest thing ever."
At least you might have made it through it, unlike Princess Bride. But yes, and hey, Raymond, good to see you. Just want to make sure. Also, Max Redstone is going to be on my channel in a couple weeks on
Oh, good, good,
the
good.
19th of the month. So hey,
Yeah.
hopefully y'all can all turn in for that too. By the way, Brogu did not leave. He loves you so much he pushed his plans back so he can stay a little longer. How about
I'm
that?
not laughing about that because I actually love Brogu, and I'm
Yep.
glad he's staying, but Larry says that I have a Muttley laugh. I can't.
Wait,
So
where's
bad.
that at? There. Oh, there you go. Oh, like the cartoon. Yes, there you
Yes.
go. That's a perfect analogy. That's a good cartoon. Yeah,
It is a good cartoon.
and it is. I hear it now. Yeah, yeah. We can just sit here and hear you laugh tonight. That's
Stop making me laugh.
well. That's what you're here for, is to
Yeah,
laugh.
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So, but yeah. So,
Oh,
yes, we
Michael
know you're
Bookham, I
different.
do remember that line. "We're on a mission from God."
Oh yes, yes,
I remember
yes,
that line.
exactly. I love that line. Yeah, we're on a mission from God. Yeah, or they referred to the nuns as penguins and stuff. Yeah, the penguin. Yeah,
But true, true,
yeah. See,
true.
what about Highlander? Did you ever get into Highlander? Because I hear a lot of people talking about Highlander. Like,
I
there's only one Blues Brothers movie. There's only one Highlander movie because apparently people say the second one does not exist.
Well, it exists, but it's just not as good a of quality as the original Highlander. And yes,
Right.
I was totally into that when it came out. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah. Well,
But Sean Connery in red water panties, I don't know what to say.
I don't either. I'm speechless on that one. Well, let me go to something else speechless and scary.
Well,
So
can we get a visual at least?
we're going to get a visual right this second. Not of that, but of something even more disturbing that came on my show the other night.
Okay.
So, because I'd asked you about, no, leave the pigeons alone. So, anyway, but let me see. This one's interesting because a lot of times Mrs. and I love the memes. Okay. And we had one the other night and we kind of, like I said, I'd asked you beforehand, that, how do you want to play some things? And well, this one kind of like, we do some of the edgy type stuff every once in a while. What the heck is this
So,
thing
like,
doing?
edgy in what way?
Well,
What way
like
are we talking edgy?
adult thematics, adult themes. So
Oh, so double
yeah,
entendre?
yeah, kind of like that, or just weird looking thing here.
Okay.
But Fallout Dave, is obsessed with this meme, and Snortopoopas actually retweeted this one the other day because we were talking about fish. It was like, I want to talk about fish you eat, and we may talk about what kind of fish you like to eat and stuff in a second, how you cook it, things like that. But it's like loving fishing, you're doing it wrong. There are worse ones than that one, but yeah. Yeah, Raquel has some serious giggles tonight.
Hey, no, it's not bad. It's that I can't believe how absurd that meme is. I mean, come on.
I know, but that's what
don't introduce it as sexual double entendre and then show a man humping a fish. What are you doing to me?
It looked like the fish was humping the man more so in that case. So
what are you doing?
Oh, so
right, Herc?
Uh-oh.
Like, ew.
Hey, by the way, hey, my computer is kind of going in and out a little bit. So if I get quiet, you have the con. Yeah, Dave keeps referring that as a pic. It's not my vacation picture. Stop that. Anyway.
Oh, good God.
God, yeah, everybody. Ooh, but yeah. Oh, by the way, there was a fish slapping meme that we had though that was a little bit more safe than that one. But yes. Hey, so we got here.
Recovered from it now.
There you go. You recovered. Cool. If you don't like fishing, raise your hand. Now use it to slap yourself. You're an idiot. So.
Okay.
All right. So fish slapping. We worked a fish slapper in there for Larry though.
That fish looked like it had a hairball.
Yeah, he had. Oh, that was one of those little fancy lures there, right there. He's got
fancy lure.
Yeah, it is. See right there, there's a hook in there somewhere, and on all the fly things right there, and so yeah, that he had a good hook in him. I don't know. I don't understand why they put all those little things on it. But speaking of fish, though, what kind of fish do you like to eat, though? Because I know you're so. Okay.
What?
We have lost.
What are you doing right now? What are you doing?
This is what we do when we squirrel, because we transition from the meme to
well, I'm gonna let you go first.
Fish. Okay. I like fried fish. I fry everything. Down south, we fry everything.
So do you mean actual fish this time?
Yes, I mean fish. Yes, I mean fish. Yes, fish. Like flounder, cod. I like those. Cod is, cod is probably my favorite and most common that we get. Flounder is really, really good too. I usually get flounder at our local seafood places more, but it's got to be fried. And if you have catfish down south, you've got to fry catfish. People have tried to broil catfish. No, you don't. I think you can blacken it maybe, but really most people will tell you catfish, you got to fry it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
for sure.
Yeah. So, but what about you? What do you enjoy? What type of fish do you enjoy? I know Clobby hated sea bugs. I know he hated those things. But what about you? Yeah,
I like seafood, and I like fish.
Yeah. All of it? Yeah, I like that.
What about? I don't eat sea tongues.
Yes.
Under no circumstances will I ever eat a sea tongue, and that's a no.
Nope, I know. I gotcha. I gotcha with that. They're just too slimy looking.
No, and I also don't do raw oysters. That's also a no, because that's a loogie in a shell.
Yeah, and
okay, so that's a loogie in a shell. And if you've ever witnessed a clam ingesting a whole bunch of sand, then spitting it out as it elongates itself outside of the shell, looking like something, looking like a member, a tongue at least, and then spitting all the black and brown fluid out.
Yeah,
it's just not something I'm ever going to eat. So that's that we're going to close the chapter on that.
I understand. I understand. I mean, when you look at the close-up pictures of them, and I won't bring them up to gross you out tonight, because I've actually seen some very close-up pictures of clams and stuff like that that is just
They're
really
disgusting.
just
They're
yeah.
vile.
I agree. Because it's just like, why the heck do we? I don't know. Clam strips you can fry and make them a little bit edible,
Mhm.
but you got to fry them. You can't just put them on pizza and leave them raw and stuff
Well,
like that. Just
I will eat smoked oysters, and I love them rolled in crispy bacon. And did
mhm.
you know that Professor R2 just walked through the door?
No, I did not know that. Hello,
Hey,
Professor
sweetheart.
R2. Yes, welcome.
Long time
Thank
no
you for
see.
thank you for letting me know that. Hey, Professor R2. I think was on with him on Sunday Night Geekery one time recently. Good to see you, Professor R2. Thanks for stopping in here and checking in with Raquel and me, and glad to have everybody here tonight. So, but yeah, Herc says you can't tune a piano, but you can tune a fish.
I like tuna. Tuna's good. I don't
Yeah,
eat it raw though, like other people do. I don't. I'm not a big
no,
sushi person. I used to be
no.
when I was younger. I don't like it
Mhm.
anymore. I still like California rolls and things like that because I definitely enjoy like smoked salmon and tempura and things like that. But
Mhm.
yeah, I don't do sushi anymore. And for me, oysters have to be smoked, and then they're delicious. And then you can basically roll them up in wonderful crispy bacon, strip bacon,
Mhm.
and then dip it in cream cheese and stick it in your face, and that's a little slice of heaven. But not when it's in its loogie form. And I will never eat, ever eat sea tongues.
Well, hey, yeah, a fish called Wanda. I've never seen that movie either.
It's
So
funny.
that's,
It's good.
yeah. Lemon Pie said, I love that Raquel cried when Dad Man asked what kind of fish.
Lemon pie. What was I supposed to do? He sets it up as, sometimes we do things. He says, this is
Oh, yeah.
Dad Man. He says, sometimes we do things that are risque. And I was like, what kind of risque? And he's like,
Oh,
well, And I was like, okay, so double entendre. And then
yeah.
he starts bringing out fish.
Sorry. It's the squirrel in me. It's like, it's just like, would you complete your thought? You're talking all over the place. I mean, my wife is poor lady. She's like, would you, you haven't made a point in 5 minutes. I'm like, well, dude, he says, well, what's your point? Get to it.
I
I was like,
don't think you're very innocent because you did then afterwards show a picture of a man humping a
well,
giant.
that's why I was trying to get to it, though. I mean, that was the risque lead in. But
Okay.
anyway, it's like, look over there, squirrel. Exactly, Herc. You got the concept of my Wednesday and Friday night streams right there. So,
Yeah.
Larry said I got fan mail from some flounder. Oh, yes, squirrel. Yes.
Well,
Yeah. So, and Burger loves all seafood. So,
yeah, me too.
yeah, exactly.
It's good.
Oh, lemon pie. You're right. Raw oysters gamble with an illness.
Yeah.
Yes.
Plus, they look like a loogie.
Yes.
Yes, Grogu.
Yeah. He's from Louisiana. Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Lady Hawk. I think that's a movie, isn't it? So, yeah.
Is it
Fallout
late already? Again, it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. Fallout Dave said it's really slimy snot in a shell. I will work up to that story. I will work up that. That's apparently what people were wanting to talk about there a little bit. Fruitcakes to porta potties. That's a story in of itself. So, and again, of course, good evening. All right. And potty gaming chairs. Yeah. We talk about right here about, where you can actually game, get the potty chair where you don't have to go anywhere. You can sit here, you can stream without leaving, you can do whatever without leaving, watch sports, whatever, or do your Fortnite and
What?
you just take care of your business right there.
Have you
And
been in an outhouse?
no, that's not an outhouse. It's like I'd be sitting here in a comfortable recliner or chair doing,
Right.
just not have to get up, you just,
But what
it's,
would you do with it? Would the cartridge be beneath you? And
yeah,
then you'd be able to
yeah.
smell it. That'd be
Well,
terrible.
you got all kind of fragrances and aromas and cans that cover the scent and all that stuff. So it's just for when you're done.
So you'd be high on air freshener,
Yes.
hovered
Yeah.
over your own excrement and
Yeah.
and urine while you're playing a game.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's more important. You don't want to break the rhythm. Don't break the rhythm, Yes, and
Larry.
Larry.
The question. Where's the question?
Larry's right. Anything wrapped in bacon is fine.
Where's the question?
Yes, yes. Oh, Fan Outsider said to Herc, it's the reverse. You can tune a piano, but you cannot tune a fish as they come as tuna. Oh, okay. Oh gosh. But by the way, a couple of these I do want to get to it really quick. Yeah, potty gaming chair, lazy bowl. There you go. We can call it that. Now you gave us a name. I can tell Stunning and Brave Megatron that then too.
Just so you know,
Oliver.
Dogman,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Can we do that,
I'm
please?
trying to find where that was. I'm sorry, I passed it.
I love you, Oliver.
Yeah. All right. Sorry.
Yeah, he's really good at creating conversations. He's
recall what you.
sauce.
Every time Dick actually skins back from out, the dog laughs. Did I miss the question though? That's what I'm.
Can you repost it, please, Oliver?
Yeah, if you could do that, we'll get to it. Sorry, just way behind at times on here. But I will tell you, this one is kind of. There's two I want to ask you about here. With the memes. Okay, let me get this. I'll tell you. Okay, two fish walk into a bar. Well, they don't walk, but wait. I'll start over. All right. Okay. Now this one, you're Irish, right?
Yep.
Big Irish. Okay. Now, it's a meme. Somebody corrected it the other night on some account, but then here you go. Oh, not this one, but you can look at when I finally get to go fishing. You just took the car into it. But here's this one. How to catch a fish in Ireland.
Oh, that's the wrong beer.
That's what somebody said the other night. That's the wrong beer to use.
Yeah, that's the wrong beer.
Okay. Well, hey, you're right. Yes, exactly. So
at least if it's not going to be a Guinness, at least make it a Harp.
Well, you know what Mrs. said? Mrs. was like, no, don't give it a Guinness. That's a waste of wonderful beer.
Well, no, what you're doing is marinating, Mrs.
Oh, you're marinating.
That's marinating. So what you're doing is you're imparting the meat with the flavor before you fry it up.
Gotcha. You get the flavor embedded into it. Okay.
Yeah, you get it going.
Yeah. All right. I got it. So there's K. All right. Poopery is required if you have a potty chair. All right. Well, we'll get to that meme in a little bit.
The entire idea of it sounds completely, utterly disgusting.
Yeah, that's what my wife says too. But it's fun for chatter and talking about. So we can get creative ideas with it. It happens all the time. We're advancing it further. We even created a game called Focky, which is a combination of football and hockey. So,
and slightly dangerous.
Yes, exactly. But his question is, do you have any, and folks, please, if I missed the question, please make sure, like Oliver did, get our attention to it. We will deal with the questions. And so I say, Raquel, do you have any favorite heroines or villainesses in sci-fi movies?
No, not really. I think for sci-fi movies, as you already know, Oliver, I am a massive Leonard Nimoy fan. I'm a massive Spock fan, and I love Leonard McCoy. Excuse me, I have to cough. I really liked Alien. I thought Ripley was good in Alien, but other than that, nothing really springs to mind. But as per usual, Oliver, when you're in a room and you say something like that, it always sparks amazing responses in the chat. So perhaps everyone will join in the chat and talk about their favorite heroines and female villains in sci-fi movies. For me, I've never been afraid of loving the guys. And I've never been the person who needed to see myself on screen or to see my sex represented. If I think about anyone who really stands out to me in science fiction, who I think is a hero, well, one would be DC Fontana. I love her very much, and you all know how I feel about Nichelle Nichols, and Millicent. The fact that Millicent created the creature from the Black Lagoon and the costume was so dangerous, and that she crafted all of that, and got all these guys who were involved with scuba, and they did these insanely dangerous stunts in order to make the creature from the Black Lagoon happen. And I just love Millicent's work. I think that she did an incredible job with the Creech. So, and obviously, as a communications and technology scholar, um, I'm looking at Uhura, and I grew up watching her, and then I wound up getting a parchment of that in university. So it's she was a communications engineer, and I do communications and technology, but very close. And yeah, and I really like Ripley, but don't nothing really comes to mind. I really love Persis Gambata as the probe. I thought that she did a heck of a good job, and Jean gave her $1 million insurance policy because, of course, she was scared of spontaneous alopecia because she had shaved her head for the role, which I thought was absolutely outstanding. So yeah, that about covers it for me. Like if you just want to ask me off the cuff, and those are the first people that come to mind. But I'd love to hear what the chat has to say and what the chat thinks.
Mhm. Oh yeah,
And thanks for
definitely.
the question. You
Nice
always make
question.
every chat room so
Mhm.
interesting, and everyone loves you so much because you spark such great conversations. Love you, Oliver.
Yep, that was a really good question. So,
Mhm.
let's see. Too, Michael Beacom though comes back. I'm in a chat where somebody puts up a picture of someone head feeding a beer to a fish, and everyone's main comment is that's the wrong beer. Was not aware that there was proper etiquette. Well,
I love you, Michael.
that I love that comment. I just love that. See, this is what I'm talking about. Fallout Dave, a series of hoses, filters, and aromatics will take care of all that. Make the gaming potty chair bigger than the internet. Then I'll be rich. So that's what I mean. People out here building that all the time. So this, let's see. Oh man, which way do I go? Where? Because this there. Uhura was very attractive, especially in the early years with the
One of the most
image of
beautiful women
yes,
in science fiction, hands
yeah,
down. She's
yeah.
definitely in my top 5 most beautiful
Hmm.
women in all of science fiction, and
Right.
and she was just absolutely gorgeous.
Larry is saying the triad of Star Trek: Roddenberry, Kuhn, and Fontana.
Yeah, the Holy Trinity. They're just absolutely amazing, right?
Hmm.
I know that it's very popular. It's very en vogue nowadays for women to sort of side up with their sex and say, who they admire among the women who enjoy what they enjoy. But I'm pretty open
Hmm.
and honest. I mean, I'm an INTJ, and I'm a sci-fi author, and so only about I think it's about 4% of the population of men are INTJ, and only 1% of women. And so I'm brutally honest with the things that I like. I do tend to like things that other people don't like, and especially that women don't like. And so
Hmm.
when I meet fellow nerds, especially women who like the same things I do, I'm delighted. But I don't identify that way. When growing up, I was a voracious reader, and so when I read and when I watch, I like to escape into another place, and into other experiences being had by people who are the same as me and different than me, and all of those things. But I don't see the things that I watch as a political maneuver, or a way of expressing my feminine power, or asserting my own dominance or identity. I'm quite comfortable telling people
Hmm.
that Leonard Nimoy and Spock were that Leonard Nimoy was my childhood hero, and I don't care that people are annoyed that he's a man. That's who he was. That's what he was for me, and I loved him deeply. Even when
Yeah.
I look to authors who I love, I absolutely love Edgar Allan Poe, and I absolutely love Dr.
Yeah.
Harari, and I absolutely love Stephen Hawking. And I don't
Hmm.
care. I'm not going to go chase down a woman just so I can say, I my sex this, my sex that. That's not really my personality.
Hmm. Yeah, and Cassandra said she had the privilege of being a security person in costume for Nichelle Nichols at a convention in Omaha
Oh
decades
yeah.
ago. So that's cool. That's really really interesting. It's a really cool to get to meet some of the actors. We've met some of the Star Wars ones and had great experiences with what we did. I do have another question, but pop culture has one. But before I get to that one, I want to not fall behind. A couple of silly things. Larry, yeah, but the thing is, this is intended for indoor use in front of your computer, where you don't have to get up and get your drink or whatever else. You can just stay right there. Don't have to go anywhere. You can watch your football game
Disgusting.
or don't have to get away from the computer. And that's what the
Disgusting.
missus said. But that we keep trying to technologically change and adapt it to deal with all the disgusting issues.
No, that's nasty, and you just need to press pause and go and use the lavatory. However, I do fully support Larry's assertion that those little potties that you take camping are wonderful because you can use the environmentally compostable
Yeah.
bags, and you don't have to go into the nasty outhouse filled with all
Well,
the bugs and the smells and the plop and just it's just vile.
and
Uh,
you
well,
don't have to walk down the campground in the
yeah,
middle of the night.
that's right.
Yeah, either. So
Especially in
yeah.
Canada where we have a lot of wildlife. So those potties are great for camping, and I think that they're better for the environment too. And certainly, I can at least use those. I find it very difficult to
Hmm.
use an outhouse because wow, like I just it's yeah, I just
I
gag.
understand.
Like it's
I
just
Oh, the
nasty.
missus does too because she one time had me hold the door open because she couldn't deal with it closed. So
The
I'm like,
smell. Yeah.
I'm sitting there having it open with the to help her out and doing security
Yeah.
guard. It's crazy, but yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, let's see. Do Pop Culture Republic had favorite author who influenced you in your writing, Raquel?
Oh wow. Um, I'm gonna say Adorno, and I'm gonna say Roland Barthes. I'm going to say those two names. I'm going to say Theodore Adorno and Roland Barthes or Barthes, depending upon where you are in the world and how you pronounce it. I love them both very much. They
Hmm.
are just and Gene Roddenberry, definitely Gene Roddenberry. Just absolutely love them. Those three guys, they're really up there for me. I love those guys.
Mm. Oh, that's neat. Yeah, Fallout just said there's no pause in Fortnite, but yes, I got it. Phantom Outsider said, "What about Julie Newmar? Was in the sci-fi comedy My Living Doll in 1965. There was Catwoman and Batman, and a guest on Star Trek."
Yeah, I did a tribute to Julie Newmar a couple of years ago. I did the full Julie Newmar Catwoman, and I am not a big fan of the YouTube, the boob tube. However,
Hmm.
I recently put it up on Rumble, and so
Yeah.
I've got it up there on Rumble, and I've done a couple of public appearances and book signings as Catwoman, and I love the Julie Newmar version of Catwoman. She's sexy, she's beautiful, and I find her behavior delicious. I love the way that she moves her little cat claws, and she's
Hmm.
fab. But I mean, she's from my childhood, right?
Hmm. Okay. Well, that's and Lee Merriweather, yeah, was a looker.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of the incinerating toilet. That would be cool. And hello to Jaworski pool practice. Hello.
Hello. Good evening.
Just pulling in the house. Dogs may bark. Oh well, welcome. It's okay. We deal with dogs all the time. We deal with cats. How are the pups doing there with you tonight? They settled in.
They're great. That's actually my husband, and my
Oh,
husband is warning me that he'll be coming
oh,
through the door and the dogs are going to go wild. And yes, I would love to have a cheeseburger.
yeah. He's a great pool player, right?
Yeah, the guy's a living legend. He's
Wow.
absolutely marvelous, and yeah, he's a world master pool player,
Oh, that's it.
and he was is or was well, it never really goes away, right? Western
Hmm.
Canadian champion in uh, 8 ball and 9 ball, and the runner up for the 10 ball. And that's Western Canadian champ, but it was a national competition. So it was people from all over Canada. So it was just supposed to be Western Canada. and it turned out to be a national competition. So
By the way, he's asking, would you like a cheeseburger or anything?
absolutely,
Oh,
absolutely would
yes.
love to have cheeseburger.
Yes.
And thank you.
And we got a few new people. Tom F is in here. Hey, yo, with a cup of cocoa. And
Evening, Tom.
Tomby. Howdy, Tomby.
Hello, Tomby.
Good to see you. And howdy, chat. Yes, he's in the future. He's a few hours ahead of us over there in the great UK Isles, which gives us the time to transition to something else real quick. Snooker's a real challenge.
Yes, to play snooker as well, Larry.
Yeah, Oliver did say Sarah Connor, Lieutenant Uhura, Lieutenant Ripley, Trinity of Matrix, Leia Organa are favorite heroines in sci-fi films for him. And
nice
Pop Culture said he will look them up. So I'm sorry. Go ahead. Were you going to say more about that?
No. I just wanted Oliver to know. Nice list.
Yeah, it was. It really is. Okay.
That's a nice rack you got there, Oliver.
Okay. Nice line.
It's a rack of really hot women from sci-fi.
All right.
Just trying to make them laugh.
There you go. But hey, all right, let's play a little game. This is a game that we usually do on Squirrel Streams. Usually I call it Where the USA. Okay.
Am I going to wake up, handcuffed to a pipe?
No. You might end up.
Let's play a little game.
Let's play a game. Oh, okay. God. That and it's not thermonuclear war. So
okay.
But here, this is usually it's Where in the USA, but Tommy's arrival from the UK is perfect because I either play Where in the World also when we do international guests and things, or we do Where in the Commonwealth, where I focus on the British Commonwealth with it. So we're going to call this more the We're in the Commonwealth with this story. Okay, I've got 3 stories lined up. What I do is I will give you the headline, and I will give you 3 countries, and your job is to identify where this event took place. So, okay,
rock and roll.
And see, look, Florida, New Jersey, Texas. They're already answering, so, oh, bro, you must have had a wild prom that night.
Well, that's from that scary movie that I never watched. But everyone always says that. Want to play a game?
Look at West Cagle, Wells, New Jersey. Okay, so I am going to, like I always do, I have to type in the.
What are you doing?
I'm typing in the 3 choices.
Okay.
And I am going to type in here. Okay. So now this one is a little more UK oriented.
Okay.
All right, here's your headline. And folks in the chat, y'all play along with it. Thank you, Mars. Okay. Your headline, prosecutor says golden toilet was stolen from palace in audacious raid. Prosecutor says golden toilet was stolen from palace in audacious raid. Did this happen in Wales, England, or Scotland?
For sure, it's Scotland. And everyone involved was inordinately inebriated.
All right. So, let's see. People in the chat, what do y'all think? Oh, the Commonwealth of Florida then. So, geez, see. Lemon Pie says Wales. All right. Scotland. Fella Dave says England. Brugu says Wales. Sounds like something the bloody Welsh would do.
Tom.
Cornwall. Mrs. says, I can't remember this, but she will guess England.
Larry, I love you, Larry.
Oh my God. Scotland. I think I've seen that movie, Scotland. Graceland. Oh, thank you very much.
Lemon pie.
Wrong country, wrong continent, though. But yeah, so any other guesses out there in the wonderful chat? Make sure y'all have had a chance to play with this. But yeah, this is kind of one of the games that we do on Wednesdays and Friday nights when we do with this story. So it's usually a fun one. And wait, when did the Brits allow Scotch toilets? The Brits always allowed Scotch. Found Dave, Harry, and Meghan were in town.
Oh, follow Dave. Burn.
This is usually a fan favorite. Some of these, though, Raquel, we've actually done it once before where we go on so many squirrel chases, it would take 45 minutes between asking the question and giving the answer.
Oh, no.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's it's chaos and craziness. So all right. So ouch. So okay, so Jersey again. No Jersey, come on. Somehow the Jersey's gonna be the answer. Lemon Pie said Scots wouldn't allow other Scots to have good toilets. It's oh God, Phantom Outsider said not having toilets is why the Scottish are always so Scottish. See, this is why Raquel, it takes so long sometimes because the chat comes in with answers like this and stuff. You know, that's what makes this game so much fun. It's like just seeing the chat because because one thing is why, and we like to know why people guess certain things, and so oh, the gold he meant. Oh, West Cable said no, the Channel Island of New Jersey. All right. Let's see if there's any more answers. Get your answers in. So, oh gosh, Sam Outside said, and also when they got here, they immediately invented Scott's toilet paper, which is the best TP.
No, it's not. The best TP by far is Costco brand.
Thank you, Raquel. You have come fully both feet into the squirrel stream because now we're talking about toilet paper. Have you ever thought that you'd be on a stream talking about toilet paper?
No.
There you go. This is the perfect squirrel stream. This is what we do. Oh my squirrel, exactly. Is that Scott's bums or dark brown? I do not know. I don't want to ask. So dark brown, but frugal. Oh my gosh.
No, that's why the men wear kilts though instead of underpants. I'm kidding. Really? I'm kidding. I don't mean to insult anyone who's Scottish. I love you all, Scots. Please, no hate, Mel. I love you. I'm kidding. I was just kidding.
She's having fun tonight. Yes. Okay. LOL. Favorite brand of TP. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Right. It is by far. Okay. I just want to ask the chat right now. Please, just impromptu poll, if you don't mind. Best TP by far. Kirkland. It's Costco. It's Costco.
It's Costco. Phantom says Scott's makes Kirkland's TP. Yeah. Oh, that's for Costco. Yes, exactly. Angel Soft imported from heaven. This is how I've got to go while we in the porta potties in a bit because now we're on TP tonight. So yeah, I'm sheltered. Yeah, y'all know I am.
Did you know that Starbucks, at least in Canada, Starbucks makes the coffee for Kirkland. So when you get the Kirkland coffee, it's Starbucks.
Oh my God, Tom F. Exactly. Quality toilet paper is very important.
No.
Oh my gosh, but it's like it's pecan. It's pecan. It's not pecan and pecan. It's pecan. So anyway.
Okay, but I thought we settled this.
Oh, you said that they could be either or. Right.
Because it is a Native American word, and it does refer to the tree from which I would need to go and look at the history of it again. But yeah, apparently there are 3 pronunciations for that word.
Yeah. Oh boy, really throw fuel to fire. And Oliver, I see your list of villainesses. Let me come back to that in just a few moments because I want to give that due respect for what it is because we're kind of in a silly mode right now.
Hey, Cassandra has not put in a TP preference, but instead has usurped the entire process of voting by adding a bidet. And of course,
I heard.
Bidet.
Herc did it. Yes. And yes, exactly.
That is because you are in the center of all things beautiful and wonderful. I absolutely love Louisiana. I had such a wonderful time with the people there, and I will hold you all so close in my heart for the rest of my life. I absolutely loved Louisiana. It was like going back in time to the 1970s when everybody still cared about each other and food was good and neighbors talked to each other. And Mount Progress jumped on the bidet. Yes, bidet.
Let's see. Oh. Yeah, I'd say milk, lemonade around the corners, fudge is made. I'm too mature. Yeah, Japanese toilets are wonderful. Yeah, Mrs. has talked about getting a bidet once. So yeah, Phantom has a bidet and still uses Scott's pecan Captain Kurt lemon pie. Exactly. That's yes. Everybody likes to use the con script. So
Yes, Brogu, that is part of the reason. Part of it is your charm and your wit
oh,
and your personality. But I mean, it's because you're a Louisiana boy for sure.
exactly.
Just walking and
Pecan there.
talking like a gentleman.
Who knew, man? We got mileage on pecans and toilet paper tonight. There you go. That's how we ended up from fruitcakes to porta potties. I'll show you the graphic later, but it's like one night, one stream we spent an hour and a half on fruitcakes on National Fruitcake Day. The next time we got on porta potties for an hour and a half. I was like, what the heck? So,
Okay, I believe that Herc 130 just broke the internet.
Three seashells. Yes. I love that. Like I say, Demolition Man was a movie that forecast 2020 before it ever happened. So, oh God, Tom F has got a good one. Whatever brand that's on sale at the moment works, or you take it from the word bathroom.
R2.
Yes, Professor R2. Pecan Sandies. There you go. Pecan, Steepy and fish. This is what a squirrel stream is. Yes,
100 proof. This is the Everclear of squirrel streams.
Pecan. See, he's pecan. Pecan. Well, we're right down the middle, but hey, so Brogu, there's a follow day from Waterbuck. Mom said alligators are mean because they got them teeth but no toothbrush. If you like Adam Sandler.
I had an opportunity to do something that Clubby and I were going to go do together, which was to go down to the swamp and do a swamp tour. And so while I was down there, one of the alligator wranglers took out the most beautiful little baby alligator. He was about as long as half your arm, like from the tips of your fingers to your elbow. And he was the sweetest, cutest little guy. And I got to hold him for 5 minutes. And he was adorable. Oh my goodness, he was so cute. Anyway, I would not want to meet him at night when he was full grown, but he was so cute.
Yeah, they can be cute when they're small like that, but you don't want to approach them in public. You want to stay away from bodies of water because they will come out really quick, especially if it has small animals. You do not get near them. So, because they've been known to attack a lot. But when in Louisiana, what kind of surprised us, we saw at least 2 dead, huge, 15-foot gators or 12 to 15-foot gators, dead on the side of the road.
We're saw many of them. I think my husband and I saw over 20.
Yeah,
they die on the highway like our deer die on the highway, and it was incredibly sad to watch. So yeah, it's a part of their life, just like you see wolves and bighorn sheep and bears and deer on our highways. Down there, it's all their gators, right?
Yeah,
I miss Claudia saying that to me every night right before I would go to bed.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, bamboo toilet paper, I've never heard of that, Cassandra. So she's not true. That's all I can think of. It must be like refined bamboo into paper because I don't think bamboo would be very helpful. So, all right. See, this is what happens usually on this game. Like I told you, the chat starts talking, we just squirrel, and then we end up 40 minutes later, we're still on the first question. So let's go ahead and answer, because I do want to get back to Oliver's, because he did give a list of the villainesses, and we can get to that after this first story. We can come back to another story next.
We did.
The villainesses, though. I don't think we. We had the villainesses, I wanted to bring it in where it was respectful to the topic, so we had that. So yeah, there was. See, this is what happens, though, is that we do this, we get sidetracked in the middle of the dang game, and then it's like, oh wait, where were we? Where's the answer? Or there was a question. So, and Oliver, I do appreciate the feedback because I do want to hear what Raquel has to think about it. But to answer the first one we did. Prosecutor says golden toilet was stolen from English Palace in audacious raid. Yes, London. It was not your typical smash and grab burglary, and the booty was precious. a toilet worth more than its weight in gold.
Wow.
A one-of-a-kind 18-carat gold toilet was swiped in under 5 minutes from Blenheim Palace, the sprawling English country mansion where Winston Churchill was born in the pre-dawn hours, and this goes back to 2019. So in the opening statement, the prosecutor called it an audacious raid. One of 3 men on trial in the case of the Purloined Potty was involved in stealing it, and the other 2 helped sell the spoils. So the toilet was never recovered, but believed to have been cut up and sold. So
that's a real crappy story.
Yes, it is. And it's actually a work of art, though, apparently, because they called the satirical work titled, quote, America, by an Italian conceptual artist poke fun at excessive wealth. It weighed at just over 215 pounds or 98 kilograms, was insured for 4.8 million pounds or $6 million. The value of the gold at the time was 2.8 million or $3.5 million. Here is a picture of that. I'll show that really quickly and show this here. So a quick here and see, there it is. There's the gold toilet. Yep. I'm like, wow, that's it was a gold toilet. Face palm. Oh, that stinks. Yep. It's like, oh, usually these stories get better, especially when you deal with Florida stories. So the piece had previously been on display at the Guggenheim in New York. This is according to the article. The museum had offered the work to U.S. President Donald Trump during his first term in office after he asked to borrow a Van Gogh painting. I'm like, they offer a golden toilet to a president. I'm sorry. That was funny to me. Oh boy. But, yeah, that's it. That was a story for that. So, they made quick work of breaking down the toilet door, removed the golden toilet thrown from the plumbing, leaving water gushing from the pipes. That did cause damage, unfortunately, to the building. So, and actually, it was somebody in cahoots with a builder that he worked with on part of the project. So, then they went to broker a deal with some people to cash in on the haul. So that's it. The first answer is England. All right. How's that?
I mean, like, is anyone shocked? And Brogu, I am very happy to hear that. That people go up on the highway and take those gators down and eat them and use their hide. Those creatures are beautiful creatures, and there are lots of them there. And it's nice to know that
that they don't go waste. That they don't go wasted either. You know.
Exactly, right. And that's really important because that's a huge problem down there. You know, I know that when people went down to see Clubby, people only stayed a couple of days, but because it was such a massive trip for me, you know, to fly from here to there, it's like, well, there were some airlines where it was like 17 to 23 hours to fly there.
Wow.
Like it was just nuts. And so we stayed a little bit longer. So yeah, so just seeing the highways and the freeways and seeing them dead everywhere, it was sad. But at the same time, it was like knowing that they're going to go to good use is awesome. Because I mean, it's not like, you know, you can get a deer off the highway if you open up a bag of jam, but how you get an alligator off of one of those big long bridges?
I mean, oh my gosh, they're huge. Yeah, these that we saw were huge. It just
and the bridges are really, really long. Like they traverse swamps and swampland. So it's not like a typical bridge that you would see in Canada.
Right.
It's not. Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean because we were driving through there on those elevated bridges above the bayous and stuff, and that's when our battery light went on. Thank God we had a good battery because we made it to Mississippi in the middle of nowhere and actually we found out our alternator was going bad on that car. So I was like, because it was really spread out and isolated in so many of those areas out there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
and
it's so beautiful down there. It's like being on a different planet.
you know,
It is so different down there. Everything just looks so different than it does in Canada. It
I
it was
know.
just it was a really, really great trip. It's like nothing I've ever seen. I mean, not even when I've been in the rainforest in Cuba
Mm,
or in Hawaii or anywhere in Europe. I've even in Mexico and Jamaica.
mm,
I've never seen anything like Louisiana. It is a
no.
very beautiful place.
Well,
If anyone has an opportunity to go, you should go. That place is amazing.
well, Cassandra says I'm a Midwest city girl, no to reptiles. Yes,
Don't blame you.
but I can relate to that because I mean the first we made up there was to Wyoming, uh, in May, and it just up in those mountains in the Rockies is just nothing we have down here. Just was so inspiring. It just was amazing.
Mhm,
Just to be up there in all the areas. I just wish we had had more time to stay up there longer because we
mhm.
drove the whole time, and it was just. I agree with just seeing different parts of the country. Just so amazing. You get a different feel for things. And Larry says the geese are gangsta. Well,
It's true. They're horrible. They're
those
very mean.
Canada geese, yeah, they
Yeah.
they
They
they.
kill eagles. Well, at least there was one report of one of them killing an eagle, and we have eagles where I am at, so
Mm,
in an urban area even.
yeah,
So, but
yeah,
I mean, what I consider urban and what you consider urban are very, very different things, right? Because of
yeah.
where I live in Canada.
And you've been invited to Texas by Brogu.
Well, I'm going to have to take you up on that because I am from Alberta, and Alberta is the Texas of the North, and we love Texas up here. We
Mm,
share so many things, especially a lot of workers and workmanship, and machining and and um, and pipelines and oil field and ranching and mountains and well not as many mountains in Texas as there is
mm,
here, but you get the meaning. I mean, it's just they
mhm.
really are our sister state, Texas, and except for the bugs. But I don't know if I can say that. A lot of people say, "Oh, the bugs in Texas, the bugs in Texas," but they've never had to square off with the various types of stinging insects we have up here. Like I'm told, our variety of hornets, wasps, and just really really bad stinging insects are not common as common outside of Alberta. So
Mhm.
that's something you get used to. I mean, when I'm in Jamaica and a bee flies to me, I'll let the bee stay on my arm. It won't hurt me. It's just a cute little fuzzy thing that's just landed on me by accident, and then it's gone and in a second, and they're just magnificent to look at. You wish they'd stay. They're just so
Mhm.
gentle, and they just come for a little sip of your drink. But here, like we have like their NBA star wasps and yellow jackets and hornets. First of all, they're massive. And second of all, like they will come over to you and just rip a chunk out of you. Like they'll bump you and they're very, very big and they will hurt you. And so yeah, I don't know. I
Mhm.
love Texas and I don't think I'm afraid of your bugs. The reason I ain't afraid of your bugs is because I live in
Yep.
Alberta where our
I
bugs are bad.
I'm sure they. Yeah, I'm sure. Oh well, I'll tell you what. When we were on that trip, we went through South Dakota. Those we thought Florida mosquitoes were bad. No, it's worse in South Dakota. In the middle of the day, one Mrs. Pop went on the back of my leg. The blood stain was massive. And
Yep.
when we went into Wall, which is famous for this drugstore and stuff, I went out to make a phone call. Oh my gosh, I thought the freaking mosquitoes were going to carry me to the car. They
Yep.
were so thick, they were huge, and
Yep.
I've never experienced anything like that in Florida before, and that was like that freaked me out. Like holy crap, so South Dakota, yeah, I don't, yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff up north that could really get give things for a run. Michael's Beacom said though the view is a little different. Driving to Cocoa Beach, NASA, they were blocked by an 18-foot live gator sitting on the road.
Wow.
Quarter mile earlier, we passed houses with yards to the water with one tire swing. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, you know what? That's the thing. Like, I'm expecting it may happen that enigmatic drop bear may come to visit me here, And I always worry about people coming here because they're just like my behavior. Like I'm so used to where I live that things come natural to me, and I just understand what it means to live here and how we
Mhm.
live here. So I'll definitely be protecting him once we get into Yoho and areas like that, because it's the people just aren't accustomed to thinking that a cougar can just yank you off a trail.
Yeah.
They're used to being able to be a little bit more free. So if enigmatic drop bear manages to come up here this year, I'll definitely be making sure that I guide him.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's great to have people. We had that with South Dakota. Somebody we knew online took us around. And it really, really made a difference too. But yeah, Michael, yeah, I wouldn't put anything kid related that close to any body of water in Florida because gators are quick and they will go after small targets. That's something. Wes Cagle says the wasps and hornets in New Jersey are just as aggressive arseholes as the people. Wow. Yeah, I tell you, I hate the wasps and stuff. Let me take 1 second really quick because I appreciate people. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. We appreciate it. But I do want to say thank you especially to looks like we got 3 new subscribers. I don't know what the numbers are doing, but it doesn't matter. But what matters is that the people have subscribed. 697. Wow, we're 3 away from 700. But I hit the wrong button. Dang it. But I do want to say because I don't get notifications all the time when I get new subscribers. But the newest subscriber is Master Players Radio and Television. Thank you very much. And of course, Cassandra and Michael Beacom have also subscribed tonight. Thank you so much. And I wanted to be able to say thank you because like I said, I don't have a lot of those other things that tell me all the time. And I rely on YouTube to tell me when people do subscribe. But I see these now. Thank you so much for the subscriptions tonight. We appreciate it. Hope you all are having fun hanging out with us a little bit. So we will go back to Oliver's question a little bit, which is the second half of what he asked about. And before we finish up those stories, Raquel, okay? Oliver had said, talking about his question about earlier about favorite villainesses. To him, he said Borg Queen, Pris of Blade Runner, Alien Queen, Lori Quaid of Total Recall, Jessica Delacourt of Elysium, Serlina of MIB2. Oh, that was a good one. Evil Maria Metropolis are his favorite villainesses. What about you, Raquel? What are some of your favorite villainesses? And
I definitely like the Ilea probe. I think that she's a great villain.
Mm-hmm.
And I love your list. I mean, I think the Borg Queen is good as long as we're talking OG Borg Queen. The other one is not real. And I will not abide that. Never mind the filth version. Lori Quaid from Total Recall. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a gooder.
Yeah. Yes, it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, really
Yes.
good stuff. Good stuff.
Yes, exactly. Okay, well that's cool. Also, well, we'll go ahead while we were at Raquel. What is your favorite science fiction movie? Over time, Brogu asks.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I go back and forth on all of this, but I mean, if you're just asking me in the general sense, obviously you know that it's going to be the OG Star Trek films in order. So I think that they go in order from best to worst. Um, and that's about it. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I have other favorite science fiction movies. There are so many of them though. But if you ask me favorite, I'm always
Mm-hmm.
going to answer Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
Okay. Okay. That's
Yep.
interesting. There you got her answer. Yes, Sheridan Stone in Total Recall. That was the character.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. So, and Brogu agrees with you about Star Trek films,
Yeah.
best to worst in that
Yeah.
order. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, that's cool. There was another movie, Cassandra, and we'll get back to our game in just a minute. But Cassandra had said this one. Crap. I unstarted, so it disappeared. Galaxy Quest. What do you think about Galaxy Quest? Because a lot of the people consider it as a kind of an honor hat tip to Star Trek, but it was did its thing. What do you? How are your feelings on Galaxy Quest?
Well, first, let me say to Michael Beacom that Andromeda Strain is an
Okay.
incredible science fiction movie. Second, I want to say to you, Dadman, um, what were you asking me again? Repeat.
Galaxy Quest, because
Galaxy
Cassandra
Quest.
Beacom had mentioned it as one
Okay,
of the good movies earlier.
here's the thing about Galaxy Quest. When it came out, I refused to watch it because I existed in a culture, like I said, I'm in my 50s. I existed in a culture where people made fun of us for liking Star Trek,
Hmm.
including people who started watching Star Trek with TNG. Okay.
Hmm. Right.
So they actually made fun of us. We were mocked. We did not have an internet with a whole bunch of little kids who wanted to lie and say, I'm a geek, I'm a nerd. I mean, we were literally and brutally mocked for liking Star Trek. So I hated Galaxy Quest. I thought it was a kick in the teeth to every nerd, and it totally pissed me off. I was very angry.
Hmm.
And then, just a couple of years ago, I watched it, and I was like, well, maybe more than a couple now, maybe about 5 years ago, and I just thought, well, okay, this is funny, this is cute, and then I really liked it. But in the context of when it came out, if you were an actual kid um, or teen who sat on the bus, like I was a teenager, who sat on the bus while people made fun of Star Trek, including the kids and the teens and the young adults who were just starting to watch TNG and called our show campy and stupid and all of these things that it's not. You had a lot of resentment because it was a form of mockery. It was mocking us, and but you take it out of that context, you take it out of that socioeconomic context, that little epoch, that little time, and you place it in today, and it's harmless, and as a matter of fact, it's quite a lot of fun.
Okay, and yeah, I can see how that may have happened. It's interesting because I know there are movies over time that actually, I changed my opinion from about. But yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, I could see how that would. I could definitely see how that would. I'm sorry, I'm just dealing with something over on my Twitch side, but it
Oh, no problem.
disappeared. So, but
No, I
yeah,
can unpack that. Like for me,
yeah.
like when I'm watching Star Trek, I know
Mm,
full well that Gene Roddenberry is engaging with NASA and the world's scientists and astrophysicists in order to create his show. I know that he's bringing up Spinoza, who is, like one of the world's most important minds. And that was my first exposure to Spinoza. If it weren't for Star Trek, I wouldn't even know about Spinoza. And
hmm.
it being canceled because it was so cerebral, and it was trying to do this, this future heterocosmica. It was trying to create this possible world, and that it inspired, the invention of the iPad, and inspired the invention of the cell phone, and all of these things. When Cooper was asked, he said, I saw Captain Kirk with his communicator, and I wanted to put the guts in it. Those aren't his words; those
Hmm.
are mine. But that's just to quickly get to the point. So for
Hmm.
me, Star Trek was always this incredibly cerebral thing that dealt with deeply philosophical concepts. And if you paid attention to the content, you could wind up in bed
Hmm.
reading Spinoza and moving the furniture of your mind. And so it's just to me like at that point, coming out with Galaxy Quest was not nice. It was like slapping every true
Hmm.
nerd in the face. And of course, now you can't say that because people just don't understand what it was like for my generation.
Hmm.
And that's because everybody and their dog, including people who are most definitely not nerds, say they are. I mean,
Hmm.
you see it all the time on social media, and it's because they want to be a part of these digital tribes, these digital groups of people, and they want to be a part of streams and conversations and stuff like that, and they don't share any of our interests, they just
Hmm.
don't. And so yeah, I when I walked away from all of those hurt feelings, and being mocked at for being an egghead
Hmm.
and a nerd, and I just watched it of its own merit outside of that context. It was a good deal more fun, and I really enjoyed it. Does that make sense?
Hmm. Yeah, it does. I'm actually we got a few other chats. Yes, Raquel has a Patreon, and but there's also we'll talk more about it near the end of the show. But Greg and I put out here, that you host a watch party for the last Sunday of the month for
Yes.
some of your favorite sci-fi movies. So we'll
And
talk
I
more
invite
about
you,
that.
and
Go ahead.
I noticed that you were coming to that, and that makes me really happy because
Hmm.
Gwagnar is my friend in real life, and he only lives a couple of hours away from me. And the
Hmm.
great thing is that Gwagnar has an extensive collection of rare and less rare films and television shows that are, science fiction. And so
Hmm.
it's an opportunity for us to invite the community, everyone, for free to just come and watch some movies with us as he and I agree on which movies we're going to show, and he digitizes them, and then we watch them on Cosme, and it doesn't cost any money. We're not looking for a handout. We're not looking
Hmm.
for super chats or members or anything like that. We
Hmm.
just want people to come and watch some of the greatest science fiction and introduce people to all the weird stuff that we like that they probably haven't heard of, and except for, of course, some of our diehards who are right there along with us, cheering us on and in showing these films to
Well, I'd
everyone.
say Logan's Run was interesting. It's never what I thought it was. I figured it was some '70s cowboy type movie, but no. Or I bet, but I didn't realize it was a futuristic movie. It was really good though. It was interesting to see. I'd seen clips of it before in frames, and y'all had hosted that Logan's Run.
Yeah,
I was upset I couldn't stay for Clash of the Titans, though. Too much life was going on at the moment.
yeah,
but yeah, check that out on Sundays. And obviously, if you follow Raquel on Twitter, I know she always tweets it out when they go live. So
yeah, yeah.
you
It's
announce
it's
it.
it's so good to like be around the 735 Club again, and
Hmm.
just being around those friends and having people like you and Larry and Gwag and
Yep.
others just hanging around. And,
Yep. It's okay. Hey, pup. Absolutely. That's what's so great with the watch parties. They're really, really neat. A lot of
yeah,
channels
they
to
are,
do on them.
because it's a way of just watching a film together as though you're all in the same room together,
Yep.
and there's no pressure to do anything. You don't even have to
Exactly.
talk.
Nope.
No,
Just sit there and watch.
yeah.
Oliver had another. Patrick Stewart, aka John Luke Picard, starred in the '85 horror sci-fi film Life Force. Plays Dr. Armstrong helps astronauts to fight against sexy alien visitors. I guess are you familiar with that movie?
Actually, I am. I am familiar with that movie. I only watched part of it,
Hmm.
and I do need to go back and watch it. But it's just been difficult for me because, as you know, Oliver, not the biggest fan of Poopy Stew. I just he's like,
I miss hearing you say that name, Poopy Stew.
well, I can't even stand the sight of him. Never mind the sound of his
I know,
voice.
I know, I know, but
He's
it's
just
just
so
I love
vile.
I love your creative names and sound effects for people and things. So it's
Well,
really, really good. Or whatever else when
yeah.
all the times. But yeah, it's neat. There's still actually two things I want to talk to you about. And we're at 2 hours 40 minutes. It's hilarious. So Brogu did ask, what about like the Orville show? How does that fit
um,
in where you think of things with Star Trek?
Well, I loved Orville. I thought Orville was really great, except for the last season. I
Hmm.
do feel that the last season went off the rails and it became hyper didactic, hegemonic, um, psychological warfare using semiotics in an overly demonstrative way. I found it garish, and I found it incredibly disrespectful, and I just didn't like it. Um,
Hmm.
it was indelicate, and it was nakedly political, and not just any type of politics, like um, extreme periphery politics, and it was full of admonishment and condemnation, and it just I found it wildly inappropriate and totally unenjoyable.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Those
I
first seasons, they
yeah.
were a lot of fun. We saw a lot of homage to
Hmm.
original episodes, and we would talk about them, and that was great fun. But that last
No.
season, you could tell that the corporate table of the corporate writers' room decided that they were going to use that season as an instrument to express all of their political frustration and their partisanship. And it wound up ruining the show for me, to the point where, like, I reviewed it with Claudia because, folks had asked us to, but just going through the semiotics and explaining the signs, the symbols, and the artifacts that were used to sort of blatantly admonish the audience, and wag the finger at the audience, and just, it was just sickening, and it was deeply disturbing, because it's not being done by an individual, and I want to make that very clear. If I read a book and it is written by someone, and that person is challenging the things that I believe, I am delighted. I believe it was Socrates who said it, or no, I think it was Aristotle who said, it is the mark of an educated mind to be able to imbibe an opinion and not embrace it. You're dealing with an individual. My problem with it as a scholar is the fact that it is a corporation with a bunch of people who are not writers. They're just script people, and in some cases psychologists and marketing people, and in some cases psychiatrists, who sit in these marketing meetings and writing meetings, and they're looking to say things that have a specific meaning and a specific purpose.
Right.
And to have a corporation wield its power over art like that, I think, is deranged. And there's nothing artistic or beautiful about it. At that point, it steps away from being art and entertainment, and it fully becomes propaganda. So that last season of the Orville, I think they should just basically nuke it. Nuke it. Nuke it.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Pop culture wanted more than angry robots take on the Kalons. So let me ask you a question. The Cosme Room is set up each week, right? Because Wes had asked about. Okay, so you can't. The Cosme Room is each week, I believe. But is that limited only Patreon members, or is that?
No, that's fully public, and the Cosme app is fully free, and you don't even have to download anything. I don't believe. All you have to do is just click the URL.
Right.
And it doesn't cost any money. Gwaggy and I organized the whole thing at our own expense. All we're trying to do is share rare and lesser known science fiction, especially cerebral, pure science fiction. And anyone and everyone can come along. It is a room full of incredibly kind and wonderful people. And you don't have to sign up for anything. You don't have to buy anything. And like I said, you can even just show up, throw it on your television and enjoy the movie, and you don't even have to say anything. We just want to show people all of these incredible films that he and I have watched that we just love, and he's a great friend, and I love him in real life, and Gwaggy's great, and I love spending time with him, and everyone from the 735 Club, just to see him in there. Just sitting in a room together.
I know. It's cool
to see names. Walk into a theater to just hang around, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, Brogu, Wes Cagle has, and for anybody else, if you're interested in following and joining Raquel's Patreon, there's the link for that on the Patreon for Raquel. There's also, I think Buddy Hepburn also said you can follow Raquel on Linktree there also. So there's different ways to follow Raquel to get the information. And Cosme Rooms change every week. You set them up and all.
Well, no, not that it changes. It's just that it's always on at Gwagnar1. But people need to realize that I want to have sincere interactions.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to have anything anyone says or anything that anyone is sharing in that room to go on in perpetuity. So I ask Gwaggy to scrub the room each and every time we leave.
Yeah.
Because
that's kind of like Twitch. You kind of got to turn it off to protect modes because people could chat in there, and you got to be careful because you don't want.
Well, not only that, you don't want
stuff in
somebody
there.
to come along and just look at the chat out of the
Hmm.
context of what people are watching and start saying horrible things about people. I want to protect the people who I love. And
Hmm.
I have been friends with many of the people who are in the 735 Club. I've
Hmm.
been friends with these people for like some of them 5 or more years. And so these are friends that we're just sitting in a
Yep.
room. Everyone is welcome.
Hmm.
We're not a gang. We're not catty. We're not a little clique. We're just normal, average, everyday people. But the thing is that I want to remove the digital nature of it insofar as
Hmm.
this is us sitting in a room together. We have a great little chat about the movie.
Yeah.
We share some amazing laughs. And then when the movie's over, the conversation is over. So we scrub the room and we begin again. So it's always Guagnar one. But at the
Yeah.
same time, I, I don't want anyone to feel like they have to perform. I don't want
Right.
anyone to feel weird that they're having a conversation and they're saying, "Hey, I never watched this," or "I didn't understand this," or "What's going on here?" or "I don't agree with that," or "I agree with this," and that's happening in the film. And there's this sort of live criticism of it, and then for somebody to come along and pull that out of the chat and make somebody accountable to it. I
Hmm.
don't think that that's fair, and I don't like it. So when we say that, what we mean to say is that it is an organic, pure, and sincere room where no one is performing, and we scrub it because I don't record you when you're talking to me. So,
Hmm. No,
I just want to keep it organic. I just want to keep it
hmm.
natural, and I just want to keep it beautiful, where people just go and hang out like they're in a movie theater, and they
Right.
get some popcorn and some cookies, and they talk, and then they go home.
All right. Well, we got three more questions. I start here. Let's take them briefly because I do have a couple of things that have come to mind. I do want to ask you outside of Star Trek, any thoughts on sci-fi TV shows in the past 20 or 30 years? Farscape, Babylon 5, any standout series in your mind?
Well, you just mentioned two really good ones. I really thought I was not going to like Farscape because I don't like puppets. As many people know, I don't like animation. I don't like anime, and I don't like animation. I like Savage Planet, but other than that, it's I'm not into cartoons, and well, of course I love TAS, but those two are exceptions. So I was quite worried that Farscape was going to be a kind of campy and off-putting because of the puppets. Nothing could be further from the truth. Clobby just said, "Look, you know me. I'm a gigantic science fiction snob," which Clobby was. He was the biggest science fiction snob I've ever met, with the exception of me. And he said, "Go ahead and do it, sweetheart, and you won't regret it. I recommend few things because I let people make up their own mind, but go do it." And I did it, and wow, I love Farscape. And I think I watched that, oh, I don't know, like 5 years ago after
Hmm.
I talked with Claudia about it. I love Farscape. And I love Babylon 5. But let's be honest here, because there's so much lying and exaggerating on YouTube. I come from Canada. I was working a full 12 and 16 hours a day in restaurants, in our restaurants and our nightclub during the years of Babylon 5.
Hmm.
So, that said, when I have gone to watch Babylon 5, it has been in a resolution so low that you can't even see what's happening on the screen. And so I watched it through and I really liked it. But I mean, like, just the resolution is so low. Like when you put it on a television, it basically becomes like almost like a cross between Max Headroom and pixelation, like the Money for Nothing video by Dire Straits. It's not good. It basically is like blurry Duck Hunt. So Gwaggy is digitizing that, and there's supposed to be a remarkable improvement in resolution from the copy he has.
Hmm.
So I'm really excited to see Babylon 5 in a much better resolution than it was previously, right?
Oh,
Because
that's
what it was previously, Dadman, was
hmm.
absolute crap.
Well,
And
that's
so people who say, "Oh yeah, what's Babylon 5, blah, blah, blah," get out of here. Get out of here.
I can visualize it now. I remember Max Headroom and that Dire Straits video.
Yeah, like it's just,
Oh, like yeah.
you know what I
Um,
mean? Like the res was just so low.
yeah. And Tom asked, what was your first computer system?
I had an impecunious childhood. I grew up in abject poverty. My first computer system was not owned by me. My first computer system, I was invited to be a part of a gifted program. At the gifted program that I was in, there was a room where they had a Lisa and an Apple IIe. And so I learned on a Lisa and an Apple IIe um, at my school, and there's absolutely no way that my family could ever afford anything like that. As a matter of fact, we used to have to go to Red Rooster, which is a convenience store, to rent
Oh wow.
a
Yeah.
beta machine or a VHS. And it was I believe at that time, it might have been 400. I want to say $400. Your mom had to write a $400 check
Wow.
for the machine.
That,
Yeah.
yeah. That's. I remember being on the Commodore 64s a little bit, but I because like you, I got access to computers at schools and stuff like that. But until I got married, I had my own computer system. But it's like now we can't live without them. So Tom said he had a TRS 80 and an Apple IIe.
Yeah, Tom,
Yeah.
something tells me you and I are around the same age.
Oh,
Yeah.
probably so. Wes Cagle, my first computer was a mainframe at high school we went to. Oh, that is something. Yes, exactly. I did have a couple questions to you I wanted to ask you real quick, and then hopefully we can conclude by getting back to a couple of these news stories, if you want to. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Okay, uh, cosplay. And not so much the characters and the things you do, but do you make your all own costumes, or do you, well, first, do you make your own costumes, and do you find like the crafty part of it is really cool as part of the process for cosplaying, not just cosplaying itself?
Well, if you've ever seen my Andorian cosplay, you are seeing my cosplay entirely created by me 100%. So nothing has been purchased. I created the costume from the ground up to my antennae.
Mm-hmm.
But in recent years, I have been doing a blend of 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 certain costumes. Some materials I make and some materials I don't make, and that was really due to my relationship with Clobby. So when I started doing cosplay, it was very science based, and it was very Star Trek based. And then I just talking with Clubby and hanging out with the guys at the Global Geek Gang and stuff, and Lord Thoth and stuff like that. The guys asked me to do some cosplays that were a little sexier and a little more glamorous, and
Mm-hmm.
because of that, I had some work to do. So as far as Dream Girl goes, that's my costume. But when you look at my tribute to Julie Newmar, I bought that costume. I think it was around, I want to say around $200 Canadian, might have been 250. I don't know, in and around there, because it
Yeah.
was licensed. And the
Right.
reason why I bought it licensed is because I wanted to impress Clobby.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted it to be entirely a tribute to Julie Newmar, and I needed it to be 100% accurate.
Right.
That like even
Yeah.
when I did the video, I said, like I haven't watched Batman since I was a kid. And even then it was very limited because it was in limited showing in Alberta. So can you do me a favor and tell me which of these bat symbols I should use? And of course, I went back through the researched ones, but there are so many bastardized versions of it that I had to confirm with him before I would even do my cosplay video.
Right.
So my UFO costume is entirely mine. My Ilea costume is entirely mine. My Andorian is entirely mine. But like I said, and I bought my Maverick. I purchased my Maverick, but I put all of the elements of my Maverick together. So
Yep. Okay.
I have
I'm
a
just
lot.
curious. I was
Yeah.
curious because a lot of people get uh like to do the actual physical labor on their costumes, which is like time consuming and everything else. And
Yeah.
I just was curious to see
I
how
do a
you.
mixture of it, but like
Uh,
like if it's something that I know that I can do, like back in the science days when I was just doing science, cosplay, yeah, it was all me. But the thing is that like you can't do that if you're going to do a tribute to Julie Newmar. You have to make sure that that you get the licensed stuff and that you do a proper job. And so that's what I wanted to do.
mhm,
And I
okay.
wanted to do the best job that I possibly could, right? And
Yep.
so when I did it, Clubby was very impressed that I managed to find the licensed stuff, and so now I'm like super proud of having that costume. I'd actually really like to do Batgirl, but the Batgirl costume I think is now 300, but it
Mm,
is licensed, like it has
mm.
the actual licenses
Oh
on
wow.
every item of it, right?
That would be cool though. But
Well,
and
you know, I'm
Oliver,
into replica, right? Like, you know, I'm into
yeah,
replica. That's
yeah,
what I collect from Star Trek as well.
oh
I
yeah.
don't make my own Star Trek props either. I buy the
Mm,
prop replicas, and I really love replicas. If it's licensed replica, I would take that any day over me making something.
mm-hmm. Well, talking about replicas and things like this, Oliver Belmonte's got says I prefer the Cylons from the '78 Battlestar Galactica TV series rather than the 2004 remix. I agree with you. I like the old school, slow, lunky Cylons better.
Well,
But
I'm of both minds. I
yeah,
love toasters, but I also like skin jobs. I
mm-hmm,
don't like I liked both series. I know that that Clobby took exception to the new series. It wasn't he was the biggest fan of it, but
mm-hmm.
like I said, I'm a toaster girl, and I'm also a skin job girl. I love
Yeah,
them
no,
both.
I know that's how you we kind of first bumped into each other because you were on a Battlestar Galactica
Yep.
panel of the newer series, which I was kind of keeping it involved in, and then all of a sudden my avatar showed up, and it was like it was the old Tiki doll showed
Well,
up,
that's
and it
how
was
we
like,
became friends.
yeah, I know
That's a
it's
long time
exactly,
ago.
yeah, exactly. So
What
it
is
was.
when was that? Like 2017, 2016,
Oh my
2017?
gosh,
It was a long time ago.
a long time ago. When did I start streaming? Okay, I started playing Fortnite about 2000. Could have, I don't know. Could have been before then. Could have been. I don't know. It's been forever. I know, but yeah, that was a fun thing. This is a whole thing for another whole stream by itself. Getting in between those two series because I love the original. I did watch the remake. I liked it in certain ways for what it was,
Mhm.
but I found Apollo's character way too modern annoying, and that it was not like the Richard Hatch Apollo who, he was respected his dad, was, but it's still a good military, a good officer and things like that. But it just, this one is like he always kept trying to suck up to the president to counter his dad. It had too much of that family conflict to me, and
I get that, but
it grated on my nerves though a little bit too
yeah,
much.
and I get that, but the thing is that you have to understand that it's a little bit different for me because first of all, although many people on YouTube exaggerate and I'm being very kind because many of them outright lie.
Mm-hmm.
The last time I watched Battlestar Galactica was when Battlestar Galactica was on TV in Canada, and it was actually on TV in Canada before it was on TV in America. The
Oh,
difference
yeah.
is that back then there were like 4 channels on TV. I remember living here before we even had FM radio. So there were no reruns to watch. And so Americans have this great an amazing country where you have syndication and you can watch all of these shows over and over and over again. But I don't claim to remember, you know, boomers' behavior from 1978. And you know, Canadians watched Battlestar Galactica before the Americans did. So that was just like a flash in when I was a kid. And so it wasn't until recently that my husband acquired an incredibly expensive a toaster box set that I went back and watched them. This is something that I remember fondly from my childhood. Daggett. This is something that I remember fondly from my childhood. Apollo.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so so when I was watching the skin jobs, for me, it was kind of like it felt more like a tribute. And I did not remember all of these tiny little details. These
Hmm.
details are now fresh in my mind because since that time, I've had an opportunity because of the way the world is changing to have
Hmm.
access to rewatching Battlestar Galactica. I'm just not one of those people who goes on YouTube and lies about it like I've been watching Battlestar Galactica all along because there are many places in Canada where that simply was not possible. And for many people, not only was it physically impossible, but it was financially impossible because the series, the box set, and the gear to get that done was either not available or atrociously expensive. And so for
Hmm.
me, I love both, and I make no
Yeah.
apologies. Had I been watching Battlestar Galactica for 10 or
Hmm.
15 years, like Clobby did, I definitely, not I definitely, probably, I definitely would have felt the same way Clobby did. But that's just not the case. And I'm not willing to sort of pretend like I have this huge relationship with Battlestar Galactica. What I have from Battlestar Galactica is honest, sincere. I never lie about it or exaggerate. I have been a
Hmm.
Battlestar Galactica fan since 1978, for
Hmm.
real, not just somebody who watched a whole bunch of reruns in the 90s and now I hate the skin job.
No. Yeah.
That's not it for me. For me, it's Battlestar Galactica, BSG, all the way, whole life.
Well, I know I watched it in the '70s when it was out, so I feel like I go all the way back too because it's it was a great series. So, but that, like I said, that had to be a topic for another night to really flesh out much. But I appreciated the new series. I bought it. I watched it all. It just had certain parts of it. My preference was for the old versus the new. But I didn't think they did that bad. I did like almost as Adama. There were a lot of things I liked about it that were good. There's some things that just kind of got me. But like
Yeah,
I
I
said,
didn't like I now that I have refamiliarized myself with the OG because, now I have this opportunity because I have a toaster box set.
hmm
I am now revisiting my thoughts on Boomer and thinking, I don't like what they did to Boomer. What they did to Boomer was bad. Like
hmm
I don't like it. It's kind of ick. Like I just don't
yeah,
like what they did with Boomer. But when BSG Skin Jobs came out and I was watching it as a person
right,
who just always loved science fiction and watched the original Battlestar Galactica when it was on TV before it was even in the United States, I
hmm
thought, wow, this is a great Canadian. This is Lauren Green from Lauren
yep,
Green's New Wilderness. This is our big Canadian star, and this show is beautiful, and
right.
and it was just basically that, right?
Now we have another question, Oliver. Were you able to make the Caitlin Fairchild of Gen 13 costume?
No, but maybe I should.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Yep, she will tell it what she thinks, whether you want to hear it or not. So yes, so yeah, exactly, which is great. So, yeah, BSG was put in theaters. It's kind of like with Buck Rogers and yeah, I remember Buck Rogers was released theatrically, and then the pilot on the network was slightly different. They changed a few things. So, have you watched Galactica 80 yet?
I have no idea. And Greg bugs me about this, and I haven't had time because I started at this part-time job and it
Hmm.
turned into a full-time job, and now I have a no-time
Oh
life.
no.
But I can't honestly say because I
Mm,
can't like you got to look at my age and you got to look at the fact that I was a voracious reader and I watched a lot of I read a lot of books and I have not watched as much television and film as many Americans and so it's spotty and it doesn't cling to me like other people.
right.
I'm good at memorizing passages in books, but I'm not good at memorizing television shows that I watched 40 years ago. I'm just not. 45 years ago, I don't remember dialogue from television shows I watched one time 45 years ago. And I just don't think that people on YouTube are being honest when they say that they do.
No,
That's
I,
Google. That's
yeah,
Google. That's
yeah.
that's not you remembering
Um,
a dialogue you heard one time as you sat in front of the television, almost time for you to go to bed so that you get up for school, and and you remember every line, and you're mad about Boomer. Get out of here. You don't remember that from 45 years ago.
I agree with you. Pop Culture Republic. Yeah. Back Riders season 2. We did a whole review of the series, but it was like season 2 was a pain. When they took the Colonel, Aaron Gray, Wilma Deering, and shoved her into like a sock hop waitress's outfit. It was like, come on, man. It just was too much over the top. Now, Larry asked, Invisible Woman from Fantastic Four cosplay.
I should.
How would you
How
see
would you see it?
Nice.
I love
That's
you, Larry.
good. Yeah. Yeah, we all need a life with some of the stuff we can remember, and then we forget. I mean, this is asked me something today to do something, and I left the house. She texted me like, "Did you forget something?" I'm like, "Oh crap, yeah, I did." But yeah.
And Grogu, no, it's not that you shouldn't get a life. I think that's incredible, but it's just really important for people who aren't American to not overplay their hand. When we grew up in a time where you were very lucky if you had one black and white television. You were very lucky if you had more than 2 or 3 channels. You were very lucky if one of those channels improved when you put tinfoil on the rabbit ears.
Or you stood beside it. So
yeah, you know what I mean? And like, don't move your arm. You were very lucky.
Yes, Michael.
So it's just and Americans, they come from a completely different headspace, because they are the manufacturers. They're the factory of this culture. And so they're pretty remarkable. They're wonderful people, and I love America, but I'm just unwilling to do what other YouTubers do, which is to totally lie or exaggerate to an insane level to try and make it seem like I share that culture, and I don't. It's something I admire and love very much, though.
Hey there, Comic Relief Crusader. Good to see you tonight. How are you today?
Yay! How's it going?
Well, I'm going to change the topic a little bit, because this is one that I wanted to ask Raquel. We're going to bring a little sportsy in it, so y'all don't run away. But hey, a while back you attended a hockey match, right?
I sure did.
I saw the tweet about it. You like the Canadian sport hockey, right?
Yeah.
Is that one that you will watch?
Well, no, it's not that. It's more like you have to understand that, like, when you're a Canadian, even if you don't like hockey, you like hockey.
Right. Okay. It's like a lot of places in the South. You don't like football, but you like football because everybody ran. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I was just, what did you think? What did you, do you like the game, or is it, because you seemed excited about it?
Well, yeah, I love hockey.
There is nothing better than hockey in real life. Watching a TV is not nearly the same.
No, I remember when Americans first started watching hockey, and Californians in particular, they came up with that little circle to follow the puck around, to help the Americans follow the puck around, because they just didn't have the experience that Canadians had. But yeah, it's a part of our culture. It's really who we are. And I'm sure outside of Canada, I appear to be a massive hockey fan, but I'm a very minor hockey fan who is just very used to going to the local games.
Well, I think it's because we hear you so much on books, sci-fi, TV and stuff, that it was like, wow, sports ball. Well, it's really a sports puck, but hey, you'd be proud of me though. I went on a rant the other night that I hate the two Florida hockey team. There shouldn't even be Florida and hockey in Florida. It's just wrong. And when every chance, except for the New Jersey Devils, who I follow, even to Wes Cagel's consternation, being a Philadelphia fan, I said, when it comes between an American team and a Canadian team for the Grey Cup, no, that's the CFL, but for the Stanley Cup, I'll go for the Canadian team. Edmonton, yay, or Calgary, you guys. Yeah. Although everybody says don't go for Toronto or Montreal, but it's like they're like, no, that's Eastern Canada. Well, which is another strange story, but it's way over there.
Yeah.
So it's hard for a lot of people to see that puck, but you still, if you look, you can
If
follow
you
it. But
if you grow up watching it and how fast the game is, you
mhm.
get very you get super used to it.
And that's
So
the thing is, in person, you get much more of a feel you won't get on TV.
yeah.
It is really a sport that you're better to watch in person at the stadium.
Yeah, and
Uh,
we're surrounded by it, right? Like there are pond games everywhere here. There are backyard
mhm,
games. There are lots of parents who pour their whole backyard as a rink, and they do like a backyard rink. There's pond
mhm.
hockey. There's shinny hockey. There's hockey at the local rink. Um, and then of course there are the local games, there are the local high school games, and then there are of course multiple leagues, there are even beer leagues, and then there are the team, just below the NHL, and then the NHL, and yeah, so here it's like it's imagine if you walked into an American restaurant and there was no ketchup on the table. I mean, that's pretty much what hockey is to Canada. Like it's just always there. It's omnipresent. It's always there.
Yeah,
So
mhm,
my view of it is really, yes, Guagnar, even street hockey
yeah.
in the summer and in the winter. So there are many times, especially if you live in a crescent or a keyhole crescent, um, the parents will do their best not to ruin the opportunity for the kids to put on their skates and be able to skate on the frozen road, and play, or just throw on their boots and play in the keyhole, and would just people just yell car, and everybody gets out of the way, and we move the net, and then the kids, once the car passes, because of course the cars stop for kids playing hockey in the road, we just put the net back on the road, and some people even stop and play with the kids.
Yes, yes. All right. Well, you also kind of hit the world of sports today. Yeah, cul-de-sac. Yes, I remember car. We play football out in the street. Car is like get out of there. So,
Yeah.
but CRC likes hockey, but more of a baseball god. You're the odd Canadian. Oh
Yeah.
gosh, Herc said, "Dang it, wife reset all the clocks already. Thought I lost an hour listening to you two."
No.
Well, we have been going 3 hours and 11 minutes already. We have not done a stream together that has lasted less than 3 hours, Raquel. How about that?
Yeah, it's crazy. That's crazy.
It's just it flows naturally. So
Yeah, we were talking about basketball today because, somebody was mentioning sports ball, and somebody had shown a picture of one of your athletes, and it was a female player, and I noticed she had heavy makeup on, and long nails, and they were long fake nails, and long acrylic fake nails with a French manicure, and she was complaining that she didn't make enough as a I don't know. It What is it? The women's
when
basketball, what's it called there?
the WNBA Women's National
WNB
Basketball
or
WNBA
WNB?
Women WNBA Women's National
Yeah.
Basketball
Yeah.
Association.
So I just
It
thought, like,
yeah.
there's nothing says international basketball star like super long, pointy, fake acrylic nails with a French manicure.
Well, see, you say that because that's been bugging me. That's bugged me for a lot. I like watching a lot of women's sports. I think
Right.
that they play as tough as the men do a lot of times. I find them very interesting to watch. And I'll watch women's college softball before I will watch men's college baseball. It's a lot more exciting and moves faster. But see, I've always had that problem with the fingernail. Just from a competitive, like, how do you not have finger injuries or other things that happen, whether it's a baseball, basketball jammy, or a softball. Now, for softball, could be like baseball where your nails can dig in and cause more curvature on the ball. I can see that sometimes with it, but it's just all the
I,
makeup and all the stuff. But the men have started it years ago because when you had primetime Deion Sanders wearing his jewelry and stuff, you got actually Ezekiel Elliott, who was a running back for Cowboys, was wearing nose rings and stuff. I'm like, they used to tell people, you take all that crap off before you play.
Well, that's exactly what I was seeing with that girl. I mean, she had a big nose ring in, and she had fake eyelashes, and it looked like she had, at least an hour's worth of contouring foundation on her face, and it's just like, where are we going here with this?
Yeah. No, I know
Because
exactly.
when I
Yeah.
went to sports, right, like as you know, we met. You already know I'm a tall, skinny lady with really long hair. I would
Hmm.
put all of my hair back in a ponytail and
Yeah.
curl it into a bun. There is
Right.
no way. There is no way I
No.
would go out there with the big long daddy long legs like tarantula style
Yeah, they're not
fake
even just like
eyelashes and
they're not even finger length. They're like up, and I just don't understand how that is not a safety issue with like if the ball hits you in the fingers. I mean, I've got jammed fingers from baseballs before and stuff like that, or when the ball hits you right on the end of your fingers and stuff like that. Much less the fake eyeshadow, the makeup running in your. I don't. Maybe I don't know because it's like. And I do think the men started it to some degree years ago because you had slowly do wearing this chain, that chain, and they wear them under the uniforms. But like it's dangerous to even wear a wedding ring when you play. I remember playing pickup basketball and somebody got their ring finger popped and their
Mhm.
finger swole up. They couldn't get the ring off, but fortunately,
Well,
they're
you can rip
they're
off your finger too, right?
oh, well, they'd had to cut the wedding band off, but at least his finger did go down. But because that's what I thought was interesting when you commented on it. People might say, "Oh, there's being nitpicky or blah blah blah, whatever stuff," but it's it's like a safety issue. Why does not anybody question this stuff? Because why not just look plain average and go out there, do your job, play your game? You're not supposed to look glitzy, glamoury, and all this other stuff. Yeah, it just
Well, it's not that. It's that it would impede the game, I think. I think that it even when I have long nails naturally and I paint them and they're not fake. But
mhm.
if you break a real nail, it's not so bad. Do you know what I mean? Because it's attached to your body. But that young lady wears acrylic nails, and if she ever hit her finger, it would take her whole fingernail off. And I went and I was shocked. And so I went and I looked, and she always plays with those acrylic nails, and they take a lot to remove. It's hours of soaking in acetone and filing and whatnot to get rid of that. But it was also the fact that she had the nose ring in, she was wearing the makeup, she was had the crazy tarantula style fake eyelashes.
Yeah.
Um, when I'm typing, when I'm writing, I don't like to have long nails. I actually have to cut my nails because I don't like the sensation or the feeling of trying to type with them. So,
Hmm.
you can't go out there looking like Dolly Parton and expect people to take you seriously when you're
No.
in like a full body contact sport. I mean,
Yeah, because you're in a
ridiculous.
competitive physical sport. You're not. Yeah, I know. It just and see, as a guy, I've always felt awkward about saying that part. But you said it so well out there with it on Twitter because it is. It's just it look to me. It looks it doesn't even look sports related because you're just
No,
it's just like what is it, a fashion show or is it? It's
yeah,
just, but then again, before people come down on me, I'm judging the men as harshly because I don't want to see those nose rings either on the guys. I don't want to see the earrings also because theoretically you could get those damn things ripped out if you're not
yeah,
careful
it's
by
dangerous.
collisions and stuff like that. The
Yeah.
chains, the ring, yeah, it's
Yeah,
dangerous.
we teach kids that they're not supposed to have those on during sporting events, and yet you're seeing adults doing it. And moreover, if this was ladies soccer, and
Hmm.
that lady had on those thick, pointy acrylic nails,
Yeah,
I probably wouldn't have said anything because the use of the hands is
right,
prohibited
right,
in soccer or football.
mhm,
But we're talking about basketball, and so
right.
it's just I just don't understand it.
I've had the same thing with like women's college softball because it's like you can still you got to get your gloves on, you got all this other stuff too. I
Mhm.
can understand maybe the pitchers with a bit longer nails because you can actually help with the grip. Grip about pitching is about grip. I can see that, and if you can even sneaky, you might be able to use your nail to cut into the ball a little bit to get away with a
If
little extra.
anyone does that
But
in real
yeah,
life, they deserve shin kicks.
Yes, exactly.
And they
There
should
you
go in
go.
the agony booth for at least a half an hour. They should be
Sh-
sentenced to the agony booth for at
Shin
least a half
kicks.
an hour.
Shin kicks. There you go. There, if we got the shin kicks. Phantom says, I think they're putting nails on after the game. That's why they're fake.
No, I saw that she plays
No.
with them
Yeah,
on.
I don't see how they can do it out of comfort. And Larry says, we all miss Raquel deeply.
Oh, I love you so much. Thank you, sweetheart. And Brogu, I love you too, sweetheart. Thank you.
The complaint spent half the salary on us because
Yeah, it's just I was just shocked because I'm not a
yeah,
sports person and I'm not into sportsing, so I just don't
no,
understand it. I mean, if I was
yeah,
going out and I wanted to be taken seriously,
yeah,
I wouldn't go out and do things that are
no,
counterintuitive to sport. And I'm not saying that people should be unattractive and dowdy. That's not what I mean. What I mean to say is that once perspiration starts, you can't have creepy crawly tarantula style eyelashes and a half an hour of contouring makeup and a nose ring and
mhm,
and
yeah.
and uh, and big long thick acrylic pointy nails.
No, I
That,
know.
that,
It's
that doesn't make sense.
well, but I'm with you there. I'm glad somebody said it. And you were the one that said it. So we got another Wayne Gretzky. We got a Bobby Orr
Yeah, Bobby
for
Orr.
hockey. Yes, I mean you know your hockey. Well, I keep threatening to do more sports about hockey, but it's like I said with the stuff with mom and all, it's just like
Yeah.
I'm like I want to fit it in, but I just keep running. Things keep popping up. But yeah, Cassandra says her daughter played full tackle football, middle school and little league, then women's football for a few years as an adult. Yep. But that's why I like watching a lot of the women's sports. They do play hard. They play full
Yeah, but
and
I don't know. I think it's a bit of a mockery. I mean, let's be honest here. I grew up in a band,
mm-hmm.
and not in a glamorous way because it led to
Well, this
abject
is
poverty, living
yeah,
like artists. And I just
yeah.
want to say this: my mother had the most beautiful nails you have ever seen. Natural nails. She could have been a hand model. She was just so dainty and beautiful and had the most gorgeous hands. And she
Mm-hmm.
chopped all of her nails off short because she played guitar every night.
Yeah.
And so it's one thing to be Dolly Parton, where you're sitting with Johnny Carson and you play one little ditty with your big long nails on. But I'll tell you, Dolly's not doing that when she's in studio. And musicians don't do that. Actual musicians don't do that when they're playing for 4, 5, 6 hours a night. And so I just think that it's a little preposterous to ask someone to take you seriously
Mm-hmm.
when you're slapping a whole bunch of stuff on yourself that is counterintuitive to the task at hand. Do you know what I mean?
No, I do.
There
I
there
do.
are guys
Yeah.
out there that play a 12-string Spanish guitar and they like having their nails long, so that's good. But we're talking about big, long, chunky, thick,
Oh yeah.
pointy
I know.
acrylic nails when you're a basketball player.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
get out of
agree.
town.
Now Brogu is touching on something that there used to be a lingerie football league with
I
women.
remember
Seriously,
that.
but I tell you what, you know what was awesome? They did not make a mockery of the sport. They fought each other, the girls, and I saw one night when one of a couple of the women on the one team went after a coach on the other team. I mean, they were physically going after him because they
Mhm.
had a fight. They were all arguing. I mean, I'm like, damn, y'all did not back down at all. But like I said, when they played the sport. It wasn't fancy everything else. They played football, and actually,
Mhm.
some games were actually pretty darn good to watch for the
Well,
football.
what am I going to say here? I've got nothing to say because at the same time that women's league was doing that, and it was doing it to sell sex, they had a
Right.
men's football league that was doing the same thing. And then, of course, there's the grand American tradition of mud wrestling. I've
Oh
got
gosh.
nothing to say there. But what I am saying is this,
Yeah.
that if you are
Oh,
one of those people who is calling attention to yourself
mhm.
to be taken seriously for your sport, then you also need to take your sport seriously. And if
Mhm.
we don't allow children who are in competitive sports to do these things because it's dangerous and it's
Yep.
counterintuitive to what you're doing and what you're taking part in, then you're really you know you're not working for your cause at that point. Yeah,
Yeah.
Larry, roller derby. You know what I mean? Could you imagine if the roller derby girls came out and said, you know what, I think I should be paid as much money as NHL hockey players. I mean, come on, get out of town.
I mean, that's not a bad set. It's a 78,000 or whatever they made, but still, like somebody also said, if you, because that league is heavily subsidized by the NBA itself.
I
It's
know
like,
nothing.
well, basically the point was, if y'all brought in the crowds to bring in the money, then maybe you get more salaries. Just don't sit here and complain about the men's league salaries when your league does not bring in that type of funding. They have to
Well,
rely
that's
on.
just it, right? I'm Irish and I love hurling, but I'm not going to sit around waiting for the whole world to fall in love with hurling. You know, like
What?
follow the
Yeah.
money. Follow the
What
money.
is? Yeah, it's all about money. Let me refer to Raquel's essay on female mud wrestling. Oh gosh, that'd be a good book, I guess, if you wrote that. But yes,
Okay. It's been
yeah,
3.5 hours. Let's
yeah.
get out of here.
Yes, exactly. Larry said roller derby. Yes, I remember roller derby. That was violent and everything else. So
Yeah.
Raquel, let everybody know we'll wrap up in the next couple minutes. So what's going on with you? What's the latest? Where are you at with things? And remind people where they can find you.
Okay. You can find me on Patreon. And I would love to see you there. I write Amazon bestselling short stories. They're all science fiction. I'm a communications and technology scholar, and I love science, and so I write about science fiction. And I have an incredible team of people behind me from the 735 Club who have been backing my publishing for the last few years, and they're just incredible people. And so I'm writing my third collection. It's technically my fourth book, but my third collection of short stories. The new book will be called what they're always called, science fiction tales. It will be volume 3. This particular volume will be dedicated to my patrons, who are my publishing powerhouse. They're my friends. They're my readers. They're my everything. And that's about it. And I just want to say thank you to Dad Band and everyone who came here tonight. I stayed for 3.5 hours, not only because I love talking with Dad Man, but because so many people from the 735 Club showed up here, and I got to connect with so many wonderful friends. I love you all so much. I wish you so much love and so much success. And please come to the watch parties so that we can all hang out and talk about science fiction again and just have a few laughs. And support my short stories if you like science fiction. And thank you all. I love you very much. You guys are, each and every single one of you is a true friend to me. You're all so funny, intelligent, and thoughtful, and just wonderful to be around. You are the greatest group of friends a girl could ever have. I love you guys. Thank you.
All right. Hey, that's Raquel. Also, don't forget her second book. I remember the first time we came on, we talked about the first book and all that around it. And we ended up going 3.5 hours. We talked about writing and then the book itself. Then we spent like an hour and a half at the end on barbecue or some food. We squirreled it in a way, but I tell you what, you got to see another side of the squirreling tonight. We didn't get through all the news stories, but maybe another time. But that's one of our fun games, and that was like the perfect thing of give the question 30 minutes later, and that's what we do here when we squirrel around it. It makes it fun. It was good to hear you laughing tonight. That's
I love you guys so much. We had a great time and lots of really great topics, and thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So just a quick reminder, coming up again, my streams have gone. I probably will not be able to do squirrel streams next week. I'm not sure about Wednesday. More than likely not Friday, being with Mom. But the next one that we do have will be the 13th. That will be West Cagle. I believe that is next Thursday. So make sure you join us at 10 o'clock for that. It'll be a chill stream. Come out, find out more about West as we do this. And of course, Larry says your videos are also on Rumble. Oh, and Lemon Pie, it's no problem. We enjoyed this. A couple other quick announcements too, though. So with me, follow me on Twitter, DadmanWalking55. Please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't. We don't do this every time. Sometimes we do Fortnite streams. Sometimes we do more serious streams. And this, it depends because I'm not pigeonholed into one thing. I kind of use the force a lot of times. But hey, we'd love to have your support. Subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my wife, Mrs. Dadman Walking 55. We'd appreciate that. She just had a big day yesterday. She should have some celebrations coming up. But if it's tomorrow at 3:00, she's continuing the series of watching The Pretender, the old TV show. We didn't even get into talking about old TV shows tonight, Raquel. We'll have to do that another time. I just thought about that. Also, the missus on Monday night watches Batman the Animated Series, a watch party. So go catch that at 8:00 with her. And then Tuesday night she has a special stream. It's her birthday. It's the missus' birthday, Tuesday, March 11th. She's gonna have a stream at 8:00. I don't know what the format will be yet, but please make sure that you would like to see you there and tell her hi, because March is a particularly hard month for her, especially around here for a number of reasons. But that's what we have going on, and we made 3 hours 30 minutes exactly. We're just over it. So hey, go support Raquel, support my wife, the missus. Hey, 3 more of y'all, make sure y'all subscribe here. We'll get to 700 and I will have a party soon. Raquel, thank you again so much for being with me tonight.
Thank you.
And the puppies did so good tonight. They were great.
They were a little noisy.
That's okay. At least they're not like cats that get on the camera and take over everybody's cameras and stuff. Like, hey, I want to be seen, not just heard. But yes. And Brogu says bye, and you guys all out in the chat. We will see you next time. Bye, everybody.